Shields up, Ironbreakers, and welcome back to another edition of Kast. I'm here today with Ark Knight. Ark Knight, how are you doing, sir?
My blood pressure is through the fucking roof. I am still shaking at everything that we got announced.
I know exactly
but
what you want.
It translates into I'm doing really well.
I bet that at some point during that presentation, which for those of you that aren't aware, there was just a presentation immediately before we record this podcast, even though this is probably only going to go live tomorrow, so it would have been like yesterday for you guys. There was the Tokyo Game Show Capcom Showcase where they had a bunch of Monster Hunter news. And I already know the thing that Ark wants to talk about the most, but I have a couple of more topics to shoot up before we get there. Because I already know, like, basically when they announced the end of screen missions with Gemma, I know that you were just like throwing money at the screen,
have
just
my
like
money.
Take
Everything I said about microtransactions no longer means anything to me. Take my fucking money. I'll spend hundreds if I have to.
Getting that Gemma end screen. I was telling people that it's going to be like, if they want to watch the Gemma end screens, they go to your stream. If they want to watch the Alma end screens, they come to mine. And then I realized most likely there will be more people in your stream. That's not fair.
That's because more people have good taste.
Nah, bro. Alma is the one. People in chat in the comment section right now, you have to sound off for Team Alma or Team Gemma.
Oh, please.
Oh, yes.
Alma's a little sister. Okay, listen. I'm going to put a comment
wait
says
a minute.
Team Gemma.
Wait a minute. Gemma is literally the little sister. She was a little girl in 4 Ultimate.
Was. Past tense, brother.
How old were you when 4 Ultimate was out? That's what I want to know.
I was a kid.
So it's okay. I mean,
Actually, no, I was an adult. That's fucked up.
Yeah, see, there you go. There you go. It's a dangerous.
I had just turned 18.
It's dangerous. You got to be careful with that stuff, man. Nah.
Oh man.
But yeah, that was crazy. But before we get to like all of the updates and all of the goodies and all of that stuff, I want the people to know more about you, which it's kind of like a weird situation because you've been in so many streams, but this is the first time you're in Kast. And another even weirder situation that I think a lot of people don't appreciate is how weird it is for me and Ark to be in a setting where it's just the two of us and we're speaking English with each other.
Because we speak Portuguese
both
all
of
the
us
time.
speak Portuguese. But the other interesting part is that I kind of feel like if people understood Portuguese, they would understand me speaking Portuguese, but they would struggle to understand you.
Oh, okay, buddy. Okay. Yep, I fucking knew it. This guy was... Rurikhan, you little bitch. Listen to me. Listen to me, man. I know what... You know what? It's not even worth it. He's rage baiting me and he's winning. Move on. Next topic.
Brazilian and in the islands, and it's like, that's like all kinds of messed up Portuguese going on there.
I know, right? It's like, pick a struggle.
I barely understand him when he starts speaking Portuguese.
He's so mean to me. You should see it every single time anyone in chat, because like I have a couple of Brazilian and Portuguese viewers, and they will speak to me in Portuguese every now and then, right? They'll send a chat in Portuguese and I'll read it, and everyone's just like, I thought this dude was American. And I was like, there's only one person that understands my struggle, and it's Rurikhan, because I think we learned English in the exact same way that
watching movies and subtitles.
Star Wars. Episodes 1 through 3, all the prequels in English, and now I sound like this.
Yep, it's the same thing for me. Yep, Star Wars, man, it taught like a whole generation of Portuguese people how to speak English. I mean, the ones who...
It taught you good values, it taught you English.
Yes, and then they ruined it, which is still sad and, annoying. And, yeah, but anyway...
It is what it is.
In order for people to learn more about you, let's start with, what was your first Monster Hunter game? The very first one.
So... I like to say world, but it's not true, because
back
when I was a little twerp, and I think world is when I really got into Monster Hunter, because my first Monster Hunter game ever was Freedom Unites.
There it is.
And
OG.
the thing is, and this ties in with what we were just talking, and interestingly enough, I was a kid who didn't speak any English because I was born and raised in Brazil and I lived in Portugal for a while, but I didn't speak English.
Valeu, galera!
Aí! Tamo junto, porra! Brasil campeão! But like back then you couldn't, like, first of all, if anyone was a kid when I was a kid in like the 2000s, you will know that video games, they were all pirated.
Oh yeah,
Even in stores, they were pirated, right?
in Portugal.
And
absolutely.
the problem with that is that you couldn't get localization done. Now, Brazilian localization is a whole separate issue on its own, but the game was in English. I didn't know how to speak English. I relied on my mom to read the menus and explain to me what was happening. My mother, who has never played a video game in her life, would look at the menus and be like, the fuck is a low-rank Nargaku? What is this game telling you to do? I can't even tell my kid what to do. So I eventually dropped it, right? And I picked it back up with World when a friend of mine that's obsessed with Try was like, you're a Souls player. You like hard games. Go pick up Monster Hunter World. And I was like, all right. Played it for a week because I got my ass handed to me by a pink T-Rex. And I was like, right. This game sucks. I'm not bad. It's the game's fault, right? Which is a response that a lot of people seem to have this response, right? It's the game's fault, not mine.
It's like it's like the old adage of like, no, I know how to dance. It's just this floor. It's crooked. The floor is crooked. Like, dude, clearly.
Oh my god, it's not. It's I know how to play football, but the ball is like too full or it's too empty. I can't play right. Like that was my whole thing. I looked at Anjanath. I was playing Sword and Shield. I couldn't reach the high hit zones because his legs were like not good slash zones. And I dropped the game. And then I was like, no, I need to lock in. And so I watched a bunch of the Arik's Workshop videos, which eventually brought me to Rurikhan's documentary on the Gunlance because I was like, how do I use this thing? And so that's when I first came into contact with your channel. And yeah, the rest is history.
I think that guide is actually really bad. If it was the World Gunlance tips, because I was teaching people how to do old school Gunlance, which was kind of like
you were teaching poke shell, and I was like, what the hell? What about full burst? And
I think eventually I also teach full burst, but I was still teaching poke shell in the beginning.
Do you want to know the worst part? I was watching the entire video and I didn't even know that there were like different shelling types. So when it came to playing the game, I was like, why is it that I have less ammunition? Is it because of load shells? Is it because of this? And I was just so confused. But yeah, my first Monster Hunter experience was with Freedom Unite, which by the way, I did go back and complete Freedom Unite about 3 years ago. I don't blame you. It's an experience. I've played the first Monster Hunter game to completion, and that was the most painful thing I've ever done in my life.
I didn't do that either. It's a funny thing because like if there were games that I would like to go back and finish, it would be 4U, which I finished 4U high rank. I never really played G rank all that much. And then I did.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then I did Generations. I did 3 Ultimate. I don't know how far I got into 3 Ultimate because I was playing with a friend of mine, Hengist. I actually played Longsword because we needed to chop tails, and Longsword was the easiest thing to chop tails. So I just like, yep,
yes,
I can hack away at this thing until it comes off. That's fine.
Longsword was a different weapon back then, bro.
Yeah.
It was a whole different thing. When I started with World, and I was like, because I played base World, and I really loved the game, but then at some point, you do everything that you want to do, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want, and I was like, my friend stopped playing, I was doing solo hunts, but I had done everything. And I was playing with the title updates, but I was like, I need to see what else there was about Monster Hunter. And so I remember I saw the GU trailer, and I was like, is that a dragon that's a fighter jet? Like, am I seeing this correctly?
Good old Valstrax.
Is that for real? And I was like, whoa, okay. So that was Valstrax. I instantly fell in love with him. And then from that point onwards, I was like, right, how much crazier do things get? And I started like regressing my gameplay in every single Monster Hunter. I started going backwards. So I've played the first Monster Hunter. I've played Freedom Unite. I've played Try, not 3U. And I've played 4U as well.
4U was a ton of fun. It's just I didn't have a whole lot of people to play with at the time, which kind of sucks because it's way more fun when you're playing with friends. I started 4U with Insectglaive as a main because back when I played, this is actually reminded me yesterday because I was showing people Tokiden, which is currently like on sale on Steam. And I was showing people Tokiden, and back when I played Tokiden, there was a weapon which is the Kusarigama. and you could kind of like throw the spike thing at the monster, and then you can kind of like climb onto the monster. And by climbing on, I mean you do an attack and your character like propels himself upwards a little bit, and then you can do a combo, and then you do the attack again and he goes up again. So it's kind of like
Sounds an awful lot like Freedom Wars.
yeah, but it was kind of like the Insect Glaive before the Insect Glaive. So when the Insect Glaive came out, I was like, oh, I'm going to play this one. And then I played Charge Blade, and I had no idea how to play Charge Blade, but I played those two weapons for a good while. I forget which.
Oh my lord, dude. When I played For You, because I played it because my chat was always like, you need to play it. You need to play it. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll play it. I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Charge Blade hits so hard
yeah.
in For You. It's ridiculous.
It's a beast in For You. Absolutely. So that was your first Monster Hunter, was Freedom Unite. Didn't click initially, then you went back and did it. That's a good one. I feel like a lot of people start with Freedom Unite. Freedom Unite was when it clicked for me as well. Even though I started with Try, I hated Try. I hated Try because I didn't know how to play Monster Hunter, and I was like, "There's no levels. It's just
That's
me
the thing, like,
and this big mon."
yeah,
I'm so used to that traditional RPG thing of like you go through, you kill the small baddies, and then there's a big bad at the end, and then you're happy. And then I'm like, there's no small baddies
bro.
before the big baddie. I was like running around killing small monsters.
Why do I have to fight the big boss? This is bullshit. I need to level up first. Because like before, this is a game that like, dude, I was sat there like, I need to do things before I get to the big fight. And I always thought that there was something wrong with me, because I was like, these fights take so long. How can someone who's beaten Nameless King with fists only take so long to kill a pink T-Rex? It's like, what is wrong with me? Maybe I am just washed. I'm trash at the game. And then, and then I remember that, and I was like, oh, no, the hunts do just take a long time.
Yep.
If you don't know how, because you're building up to it. But then I also used to play, if anyone in the comments, please tell me that you've played this game. I'll be best friends with you. I used to play an MMORPG called Prison Tale, which was very popular in Brazil, right alongside another MMO that was Flife.
Okay, Flife, I remember.
And it's some weeb shit, you know. If you go back to those days, dark days, man.
I mean,
but Prison Tale
is literally fly for fun. That's the name of the game. It's fly for fun.
Yep.
That's what Flife stands for.
It was they claimed to be like one of the first games to put like aerial mounts, and I'm like, hasn't WoW been doing that for a while now?
No, I think Flife actually did it first, because it was really old.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think Flife.
But I used to play a lot of Prison Tale, and I used to play Paladin, which is like a tank DPS. And I used to rely on healers and all that. But, you know, when I first started playing Monster Hunter, I was like, when do I know if this thing is dead? And then the first time I saw a monster limp, I was like, that's how you count the bones you break.
You want a little HP gauge? Is that what you want? A little baby mode?
Hell no. Yeah, little baby. Can I please get an HP gauge that tells me when the monster is about to hit me? Thank you very much.
So, out of all the Monster Hunter all the Monster Hunters you played, which one's your favorite?
See, that's a rough question, because they all do different things for me. And I think that when you ask me which Monster Hunter has the best like story, gameplay, all that stuff, I give you different answers. Overall, I'm going to say World and Iceborne in particular, because over the years, I have come to understand just how amazing the closing roster is for Iceborne. Because you go Safajiva, Elatrian, and Fatalis, and those three fights are some of the best fights I've ever had in Monster Hunter. Because, you know, a lot of people, and I'm just going to say this because I want to instigate.
Here it goes.
If you guys bitch about Elatrion, let's listen to me, you little bitch. If you guys bitch about Elatrion's elemental damage because you can't use your bastard blast build once, you and I cannot be friends. It's that simple.
I used to let people bring blast weapons into the lobbies, and I'm like, it's okay. I'll solo the elemental threshold with my Gunlance. Don't even.
The worst part is that you can't do that.
Yeah, I can't.
You can't technically beat the monster with blast weapons. You just have to, you know, take a card or two.
Yeah, you eat a couple of carts and then you're good. But yeah,
definitely World and Iceborne, especially because like Worlds and Iceborne did so much to build up the atmosphere of the world around you. And
go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, you go.
Well, I was like, I used to love the capturing endemic life, customizing your room, And just the different areas. You had the main hub, you had Celiana, which still like the best gathering hub in the world in my opinion. Sorry, Hunters Pub fans, but Celiana is just that good.
Celiana is the best.
And then you had and like just seeing all the armors, and because like it had so many good things, but I think the thing that definitely puts it above everything else is just that closing roster, because the problem with base world for me was like we have a lot of flying wyverns, like a lot, and then the closing roster was 3 of some of the best elder dragons that I've seen in my life. So I think that one is definitely, which is hard for me to say, right? Because like Rise and Sunbreak hold a very special place in my heart.
Rise and Sunbreak are awesome. Yeah,
because I started doing content
around Rise
during Sunbreak.
Sunbreak.
It was not even Rise, Sunbreak. It was when we got the first trailer for Fiorraine, and we didn't even know her name back then. So it was pretty early into the Sunbreak life cycle. And I love Sunbreak. I was literally telling people on stream today, well, yesterday for you guys watching this podcast, but I was like, bro, people were telling me that they didn't play Rise, or they didn't play Sunbreak because they didn't like Rise on release, and I was like, you are missing out. You're missing out big time. Sunbreak gets really good.
I gotta be honest. I forgot the name of the other one. I feel so bad. My first girlfriend in Rise. I forgot her name. It's my
first girlfriend in Rise?
My memory is so bad. Yeah, Fioraine's sister.
Oh, Rondine.
Rondine. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
There's. Do I have to explain why I know all of their names? I feel like I should probably make that public knowledge if people don't know already.
Go on. Here, this is the
Okay.
Ark Knight's specialty content.
Yeah, so I do 2 types of like base formulas that people know me for. One of it is like what your main weapon says about you. I've done one for Monster Hunter Rise, and I've done one for Elden Ring Night Rain. But then, fuck's sake, the thing that people know me a lot as well is because I do a lot of waifu comedy skits, and I've done 2 videos based on Monster Hunter that are titled "What Does Your Monster Hunter Rise and World Waifu Say About You?"
Yeah.
But the original, which is like, oh, this is so embarrassing. I make these videos as a joke, right? But I obviously try to always derive a little bit of greater meaning from characters in video games, not just waifus. Because let's be real, everybody likes someone hot in a video game. Let's be completely honest here. But the first time that I made a video was the joke about Fiorraine showed up and everyone was forgetting about Hinoa. And I was like, I made a really clickbait video called "I'm so disappointed in the Monster Hunter community," and that was literally like the whole shtick. It was, you guys are disgusting. How can you leave Hinoa for Fiorraine? And people didn't even know Fiorraine's name.
Yep.
So
true.
To those of you who say I'm a degenerate, true. But I am just showcasing what's been in the Monster Hunter community for a long time now.
I was always about Rondine, so Hinoa, Minoto, I was like, yeah, whatever. Rondine, she's the one. She even had like
That's because you like her
the Portuguese
her
loot.
Portuguese heritage.
Yeah.
Yep.
She has Portuguese heritage, bro. It is what it is. But then it was like Fiorraine showed up, and it was kind of like friendship ended with with Rondine.
With Rondine.
Fioraine's the new wife for now. And then Manale came along, and it was all over. It was all over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how you first heard about me.
Yeah.
You gave me, like, the best clips to put into videos, and it was like, well, she has a quote. I remembered it to this day. She has a quote, and she's like,
bang this out. Something,
I
bang
can layer
this
your
out.
weapons. No, it was when they allowed you to do layered weapons in Master Rank, and she's like, I can layer your weapons for you, and your words were something along the lines of, you can layer my gunlance anytime. And dude, I have these clips somewhere in my channel.
At a certain point, it seemed like people in my chat were sending you clips all the time and whatnot. Like every time I'd say something out of context, I'd look at chat and it's like, good, Ark's not here. Thank God.
Oh, I had informants. I had developed this little cult of people that would be like DMing me on Twitter, or not even on Twitter, sorry, on Discord, and they'd be like, yo, have you seen this clip? And I was just like, bro, some people would even record it for me. and they're like, use this in your
God.
next video, and I'm like, all right, if you guys want me to,
I
who
love
am I
people
to say
record
no?
it. They don't even post it. They just give it to you.
They would just give it to me. They're just like, here's like I was their personal editor. They just go, here's the content. You know what to do.
Oh my god, dude! It's like I can't pay to get people to do that for me. Some good stuff. But yeah, so favorite Monster Hunter is World Iceborne. My favorite one is Base World still, because Iceborne dicked over to Gunlance real hard. Like I never want to see.
hard.
I never want to see Wyvern Stake Blast for the rest of my life. I will take the heat gauge before I take Wyvern Stake Blast ever again.
100%.
I'll take the heat. I'll even take it with the nerf. Okay, I'll even take heat
You know
gauge
what?
with the 20% damage nerf. I'll take all that over
You know
Wyvern
what
Stake
pisses
Blast.
me off?
Okay,
When we say that, people are like, but Gunlance had the fastest speedrun times. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
because of a glitch.
because of a bug with a snowman. It's like-
yeah. It
Yes.
wasn't because the weapon was good. It was because it was glitched.
It's almost like, Rurikhan, why don't you just cheat like everybody else? It's like, well, because I don't like cheating. I don't think that's fun. I think cheating sucks, but whatever.
Nah, the Wyvern Stake Blast or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
That move was horrible.
It was
just horrible.
miserable. Like I remember there because like you needed all the setup, and then the one time where the monster would move slightly faster or your thing would be slightly slower, and you'd shoot your worm stake into the air, and you're like, well,
Yep.
there goes 5
And
minutes.
you just sit there.
It's like,
Yep.
time to go
Time
get
to do it again.
because now I need to pick up the ammo, put it in the thing, and do the thing, and find another opening, and then slam it in there, and it's like, oh god.
Nope.
And then
Nope.
and then those times where, like, say for instance with Nergigante, right? And you're putting the worm stake blast, and instead of going on the leg where your attack landed, it goes to like the furthest away
The
tip of
wing.
the wing, where it's not even
Yep.
connected to his hitbox. It's just like this floating thing, and it's like, oh, there's my good
nightmare.
worm stake made from explosive ammo, huh?
Actual nightmare.
Look at it over there. I guess I'll go get some of these red pods, whatever they were called. I forget the name. That last for like 10 seconds and use that now. I'm so happy. And then you have the thing which I still can't understand. Why was it that dragon pods sucked for the Wormstake Blast? For some reason, one of the most
no
powerful
idea.
energies in the game, whatever, you put it on the Wormstake
No
Blast
idea.
and it has the same duration as one of the red pods, and you're just like, what the hell?
Had to bring in our boy Chaos Slayer for that one because I could not answer you that. The most miserable
it
experience
was
I
weird.
had was when people like just play. You know, I was doing Fatalis, with the like streaming Fatalis at some point before Wilds released on the whole Return to World campaign.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Why don't you play Gunlance with Fatalis?" And I was like, I won't even say anything. I'll just show you.
No,
I'll just show you.
I did it.
You stick the thing in his head, and for some reason Fatalis is like, man, I really need to get up and stretch. Oh man, my shoulders are so stiff. And so here you have the thing that you spent 5 minutes
Bro.
setting up stuck to his head, and he is standing and he will not stop moving. It was a nightmare, man. Never bring that back.
Respect to Cowslayer, because he was the one who had the patience to go through with that stuff. He's like, oh no, I'm gonna do this with whatever was the ammo specialist thing so that it would last longer. And he would
What
be
a
like,
Giga Chad.
he's like- I still remember back in
man.
Alatreon, he's like, this is totally doable. I'm just gonna eat 2 carts.
Yeah,
He's
well,
going
I'm
in
just
there
like, bro,
with,
you're
with
insane.
long shelling, charged shells. He's like, I don't need this elemental bullshit. I'll just do this with 2 carts and long
He's like-
shelling. I'm like, that's
And then,
the
like, I wouldn't
biggest
be
Chad
surprised if on top
move.
of all that, I wouldn't be surprised if on top of all that, he was like, by the way, my hands were tied. I was playing with my feet.
Oh man, I love Cowslayer. He's so awesome.
Oh,
you know
man,
what?
he's a great
You,
guy.
you met him, right? You met him as well last
Yeah, I
year.
met him at Gamescom
We
2024.
We both met him at Gamescom. Super chill guy. Was there with his wife.
He was
Also
incredible.
Very,
Yeah.
very lovely lady. Very, very nice. But yeah,
The heart of gold, those two. Very, very fun.
Absolutely.
Like, do meet your heroes, kids. Do meet your heroes.
Now, continuing onwards, out of all of the monsters ever in Monster Hunter, which one's your favorite child? Come on, let's go. Favorite
Right,
monster.
it's not very hard. I mean, take a look at me. The Knight guy likes who? The Knight Elder Dragon. Primordial Malzeno took me by surprise. I love everything about that monster. I love the lore. I love the gear. I love the fight. Before that, and for many, many years, it was Valstrax. Because I'm like, dude, how can you
Because he's a
just
jet
not
engine
love
dragon.
Valstrax? He's a fighter jet. He's like a literal living fighter jet. How can you not like
He's
that?
got VTOL technology.
So the standards were really high.
Yeah, he's got
Bro can hover in the air.
Yeah, VTOL technology, vertical takeoff.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's what it. Yeah, that's sorry. And like, I don't know if you guys know this, but when he crashes onto the ground, he crashes by breaking the sound barrier. So that guy is built tough as nails. So my standards were really high up. But then I saw Primordial Malzeno. I was like, this is the best monster. Even our color schemes kind of look alike. Yeah, he'd be Morbin. Morbius Elder Dragon. Oh man, I remember I saw him and I was just like, God damn, he's cool.
Yeah, Malzeno, particularly Primordial Malzeno, is one hell of a fight. It's particularly cool.
Yeah,
like
he's so fun.
The first couple of times you do that one, as well as the other fight in Sunbreak, the Geismgorm with Fiorraine, because she's there with you and there's actual like interaction. I thought that was pretty cool. I really like that.
Yeah, it was really. She even gets a cutscene in Geismgorm's like hunt if you do it for the first time in the story. But yeah, Primordial Malzeno is beautiful, and I love his gear. I think his sword and shield looks really bad, but it is what it is. Can't have everything. His Gunlance looks beautiful.
Like. Yeah, the Gunlance is
awesome. It's like a cane, and the shield is really weird, but the Charge Blade looks the best in my opinion. It looks really beautiful. But yeah, I think that monster was, because the crazy thing is that monster wasn't supposed to exist. He
you
was
mean
a bonus
Primordial
title update? Primordial was not supposed to exist.
Yeah, Primordial wasn't supposed to exist. They just they saw
whoever
so many people.
at Capcom did it.
Yeah.
I remember when I spoke to when I first started talking to Jono, the EU community manager.
Wait, no. I need to correct you the same way that Mr. Tummy Giggles corrects me all the time. It's Jono.
Oh, no. Jono.
Not Jono.
Is it Jono?
I think it. I don't know anymore because I always call him Jono. He never complained. He probably just wants to be nice.
He's never told me off.
I'm pretty sure, but because Tummy Giggles, he's Scottish, so he would know. He's like, no, it's Jono. And I think that whenever I hear people say it, official Capcom folks, they do call him Jono. So it's like I've been correcting myself, and Mr. Tummy Giggles slaps me on the wrist every time I go like, right. Oh yeah. So I spoke to Jono, and he goes like, Jono. Bad Rurikhan. He just like slaps me in the hand. Bad Rurikhan, speak proper.
He's a great guy. He's a giant, by the way. He's like 2.5 arcs tall.
I told like the first time I saw him because I thought he was gonna be like scrawny for whatever reason from the pictures that I had seen online of him, and so then when I got to the train station in London. And I just see him coming across the Sutton. What do you call it? The place where people go to cross the street. God damn it, I forget the name.
The crosswalk.
The crosswalk. Yeah, as he's coming across the crosswalk, I'm looking and I was like, wait, that can't be him.
The ground shakes at his very.
He's
footsteps.
A giant.
He's so tall. And
I'm looking like this.
Because I had the same.
And I'm not short. You're
like,
short though. You're short. I'm not.
Yeah,
short.
I am very short. I am pretty short. I am like I am not a tall guy. I've never been. But I was like, because when I saw him, I was like, oh, he looks like. Jono, I'm so sorry. You look just from the profile pictures. You look like a very tall twink, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But
he ain't no twink.
Like an e-boy twink, and I'm just like, oh, that's lovely. He looks so pretty. And then when you see him in real life, it's like he could literally fold me, put me in his pocket, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Pretty much.
He's so tall, but he's a lovely chap. And when I started talking to him, I was like, mate, whoever in the Capcom team had the idea to bring Primordial Malzeno, tell him that I thank them and that I want to send them a gift basket because that was the best thing they've ever done for me.
Yeah, Primordial.
The Knight Elder Dragon for the Knight guy. I was so happy.
Primordial Xeno is pretty badass. I think that a lot of people are still missing out on Rise because of Rise got a bad rep on account of the whole COVID situation where Rise was like people say that Wilds is incomplete. Like Rise was incomplete, okay?
Rise was genuinely incomplete.
The story didn't even finish in Rise. You had to wait.
What was it, title update 1 or 2 that we got All Mother?
I think it was title update 2. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't even
It
think
wasn't
it was
even in the first update.
Yeah, I don't think it was the first update. Title Update 3 is when things really opened up and you got like a bunch of new content. But yeah. And Title Update 2 is also like a lot, but like Title Update 3 I feel like was when it really opened up and became like much more what we would expect from a Monster Hunter game.
100%.
So, I thought your favorite weapon was the Gunlance.
And you're right. It is the weapon that I have the most playtime across all Monster Hunter games.
Why are you cheating on the Gunlance then? I see you playing other weapons. What is this?
That's because everyone keeps bitching that the Gunlance is overpowered, because for once in its life cycle, the Gunlance isn't shit. So people are like...
So wait. So the Gunlance is overpowered. So you play the Sword and Shield? In Wilds?
I've always played Sword and Shield. I've always played Sword and Shield, but actually I've kind of taken a break from Sword and Shield as well, because Sword and Shield in multiplayer hunts doesn't feel that good. Sword and Shield's better when the monster's attention is fully on you, because then you can back hop, you can finally use your shield to block properly and do counters. But Gunlance is the weapon that I have the most amount of playtime in every single Monster Hunter game where it's there, obviously. But recently I've been mostly on the Charge Blade. And the thing is as well, like, you know what will never get me to play anything other than Gunlance ever? An offset.
Oh,
because offset attacks are like crack. I'm addicted to that thing. It's such a cool mechanic.
Does the Charge Blade doesn't have offsets though, does it?
No, Charge Blade doesn't. Greatsword does.
Yeah, Greatsword. Greatsword gets both. It's so unfair, bro.
Greatsword and Heavy Bowgun get both.
I mean, Heavy Bowgun, I don't care, because then you still have to play Heavy Bowgun, so I feel like that's enough.
That's the punishment.
It's like, yeah, sure, you guys can have both, because at the end of the day, you're still playing Heavy Bowgun.
Oh, Angbara's not going to be happy about this one. Oh, boy. We're in for
I already feel sorry for you, so you can have both. No, the
Greatsword gets both. It's very unfair.
It is very unfair. Like I want an offset as well. But I mean, Power Clash feels really, really good. I just feel like
Power Clash is so good.
I almost feel like Power Clash, because you can only do it once, we should get like a stacking buff every time it happens. Like, oh, you got 2 Power Clashes? That's 10% more damage. Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be good. I'd like that a lot.
Maybe not 10% more damage, because that'd be pretty cracked. But like something else. Like, I don't know, maybe you block better, or I don't know. Like you have more part
something
break.
That's a little bit better.
50% more part break. 50% more part break. 25.
You can make it only on the head or the horns or whatever. I wouldn't really mind. It's whatever. But
you get more part break.
Power Clashes are such a good addition, because if there's one thing that Wilds does really well is give you a cinematic Monster Hunter experience. And Power Clashes are something that I see and I'm like, I want this to forever be a thing. Perfect blocking and Power Clash have really made me enjoy the game a lot more. Because as much as I love the games like World and such, sometimes some weapons with shields, namely the Gunlance and the Sword and Shield, the shield was just there for decoration or as a panic button.
Jesus.
And now they have actual meaning.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I still remember stacking like 11 blocking skills on Rise. And then Shigaru just goes like, that's real cute.
Risen Shigaru. He goes, yeah,
Risen Shigaru's like,
nice shield.
That's real funny. It's just like, here's this big fireball. Fuck all your guards. Don't care.
Block this one, bitch boy, and then he just
breaks everything.
Peels the shield off you.
I had a really good one, which was the Espinas one, because Espinas straight up can't even be blocked, and I remember because it was the first time I was fighting Espinas, and I just go, I can totally block this.
Is this Flaming Espinas?
Yeah, Flaming Espinas. It was the first time I was fighting Flaming Espinas in stream, and I just turned the chat and I go like, because you see them always dodge it, and everybody in the promotional material are saying, oh, this attack is so dangerous, you'll never be able to. And I was just like, the first time he starts strutting at me, go like, I just go like, I can totally block that. Watch me. I put up the shield. And he's like,
gets evaporated. There's nothing but a skeleton left.
I was like, I guess I can't. Never mind. I take it back. There's no blocking that. You have to dodge it. But yeah.
Gunlance is the weapon that I play the most. It's just that with Wilds having so many accessible different weapon systems, I've been trying other things, but I still have the most amount of playtime on Gunlance. I just want normal shelling to come back, because right now,
You can play normal
reason,
shelling.
wide shelling, it's not as good as wide shelling though.
Nothing is as good as wide shelling. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Like
Because like long shelling used to be, like if you want to get your Wyvern Fire cooldown, you'd go long shelling if you want to do like a Wyvern Fire spam. At least in Sunbreak, that's what I did, because I would play like the aerial buffs, but then you would use
right, because you had the thing, the slam down thing. Yeah.
Yes, which then added cooldown onto your Gunlance, and then wide would be like the more defensive playstyle. Wide is the playstyle that I always took into first time hunts that I thought were going to be like really challenging.
I miss Sunbreak and Rise's wide shelling, actually. Sunbreak and Rise wide shelling, you had the thing where you go guard reload, and then you're just going like pop, 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 because you're just like constantly block. So anything the monster's doing, you're like block, pop, pop. It was so good. Problem is that it didn't scale. It didn't scale at all. So like your hunts would start lasting, and especially if you're going like high into anomaly, your hunts would just take forever. But it was so satisfying, just really being up in the monster's face and just like blasting him with wide shelling and then popping the guard. It's really good.
Absolutely, it felt so good, and like yeah, but a lot of people say that Gunlance is overpowered in Wilds. I don't think it's overpowered. It's just that the Gunlance now is good.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's just not bad. It's good, but it's also like the thing that took people to say that it's overpowered is just, oh wait, Gunlance is not bad. It's clearly overpowered, because like Sword and Shield is 100% more powerful than Gunlance. I've played both weapons, and when I swapped the Sword and Shield, I was
broken,
like,
and they nerfed it twice,
and it's still more powerful than Gunlance.
Yep.
Like I think it was my second Sword and Shield hunt. My second Sword and Shield hunt was a 9-5 Gormagala, and I beat it.
Yeah, no, Sword and Shield is straight up broken.
Like,
I play loads of Sword and Shield. I love Sword and Shield, but like, you are just very powerful with the weapon, and you can just bully monsters into submission. But, you know, Gunlance is just good now. It's because now we don't have to deal with Heat Gauge or Wormstake Blast or what was it? The little drag move that you did in Rise to buff your shelling damage. Ground Splitter?
I think it might have been Ground Splitter. I forget the actual name.
It's like this time around we get good base damage, and Wyvern Fire doesn't have the reach of like, I don't know, a toddler. It can actually reach wide now.
I think it was like one of the first times I'd seen it. We had like 3 people with gun lances on yesterday's stream. And it was so glorious just seeing like people popping off Wyvern. Like you'd see Wyvern fires across the screen like and I was like, I'm just so happy. Sometimes it would even hit me and I'd fall over and I was, yes, bathe me in Wyvern fires, please. Yes.
Because dude, it felt particularly bad in Sunbreak. You would never land that move because the monsters in Sunbreak were so fast and the hitbox for it was so tiny.
It was a pain to get that thing going, yeah.
Oh man, but now we actually have good Gunlance. But I don't think Gunlance is OP in the slightest.
It's funny because me and Cowboy were testing Gunlance before the end of the review period, and I remember that Cowboy was like all in on charge shells is the way, wide is the best, and I was like, nah, I don't like charge shells. I think that long's gonna end up being the best because long said our worm stakes are the best. And I was like, well, the Wyvern Stake Full Blast has 2 worm stakes. So it makes sense if that, long would end up coming out on top because of its worm stake bonus. And then after Cowboy did his review and he did most of his content, I was still like testing stuff. And I just turned to Cowboy, I got bad news, bro. And he's like, what? Full burst is better on wide, and he's like, what? No, you're testing it wrong.
That's never been the case. Like,
and I was like, nope.
Does anyone actually know why that is the case?
I don't know,
I still have no idea. I have like almost 400 hours in the game, and it's like, when you full burst with wide shelling, it does more damage. Why? It just does.
I think the most powerful. It's not called full burst in this game. We keep calling it full burst. They call it burst fire. They keep changing the name of the damn move. It's called burst fire.
It's full burst in my heart.
Yeah, sure. But burst fire, I think the strongest burst fire that you can get is actually corn popper when Wyvern fire's on cooldown. I think I
Yeah,
tested
because then
that.
you get the bonus of
You get the
strong
additional
shelling.
bonus with strong shelling and the additional crackling corn popper thing. And
Yep.
that's pretty
That's
cool.
the stuff. I
So-
love that they did that, by the way. It's not meta, but it's such a fun way to play
It
with corn
is.
popper.
So I want to get your quick take on Wild's base game Wild's difficulty.
Too easy.
Damn.
And
That was
for a lot of
quick
different
and
for a
dirty.
lot of different reasons, there is not just one
Yeah.
reason. It's a weird question, because here's the thing. There is merit to the argument of, yeah, the more Monster games you play, the better you will be, but that isn't the full story, because number one, I know that this is like not something that people want to bring up too much, but base HP for monsters in low rank was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I went to London for the creator events, and I took down Lullabarina less than
Yep.
3 minutes in, and I was like,
Same.
I wasn't even like, this is not
You
to
weren't
make
even
me sound
trying.
good, but I wasn't trying.
Yep.
I just want to see the moves and try to get some like cool shots to show it as footage in the videos.
And then
but
she just died, and
it
you're
just
like, wait,
died.
what?
It just died. But and then a lot of it also is lack of, or like too much quality of life, aka lack of friction.
Yeah, I
For
think lack
example.
of friction is definitely a big one too.
100%. But then, like, I still don't think it's the easiest. I still think base Rise was really easy, depending on the weapon that you
Village.
were playing.
Village Rise.
Village Quest. Sorry, not base Rise, because
Yeah,
we have
Village
Village and Hub
Rise.
Quest like we did. You're right. Village Rise was like baby mode,
Yeah, it was super easy.
but I was like, oh, it's whatever, because you have Hub, so you can do the Hub quests for something a little bit more challenging. But in Wilds, you just get the story quests. And the problem was the monsters had too little HP. Your Palico is broken, straight up. Your Palico is insane. Because I don't understand why they went, oh, before, like, I like the system in Rise, right? Where you're like, you get a fighter Palico, you get a healing Palico, you get a trapper Palico.
That's the best system. Like Rise had the best one, which is like I think they brought parts of like GU and 4U into Rise in a way that kind of like made sense, because you can't really get, let's say, bricked Palicos.
Yeah, like
you
Ruri,
could
peep
kind of
this,
fix
right?
it.
Peep this, right? I have a friend of mine that got into Monster Hunter with Wilds. And when we got to fighting Arkveld together, as in not Guardian, actual Arkveld, he was like, I don't know how to get rid of Dragonblight. Guess why?
Because the Palico had been getting rid of it for him.
Because the Palico fucking does it for you. And
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, that sounded major red flags in my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
a new player not knowing that nullberries, that's fairly easy to get, can get rid of Stale's ailments is like scary.
Yeah.
And the Palico heals you, the Palico revives you, the Palico puts traps down even when you don't want it to. And it feels like the Palico is literally just keeping the monster in place and keeping you alive. So it took a lot of friction off of that.
I think that is the thing. It's not even just about the difficulty, and I don't want to harp on difficulty too much because people get upset when you start bringing up difficulty, and we don't want to have Monster Hunter Meatman make another like 6-hour video this time. It's like he's like, oh, those motherfuckers brought up difficulty again.
No, I mean, like, a good statement to summarize how I feel about difficulty. On release, Wilds was too easy. Currently, and actually no, not even currently. When they introduced 8.5s, I was actually pretty content.
Yeah, when
With 8.5
8.5s
monsters, I was like, this feels good.
Yeah, that was pretty much where I was at as well. Once 8.5s got introduced, I was like, yep, this is what I want. This is good. And then they were like, and now here's 9.5s. And I was like, this is even better for me. I don't know about these
9.5s
other
are better.
people, but I love 9.5s.
Like, people who turn around and say that 9.5s are too easy, I'm just like,
yeah,
no, bro,
you didn't play
You're
you didn't
lying.
play them. I had a few of those in the stream today. They were like, yeah, 9.5s. There were people saying that Omega is easy. And I was like, okay.
We haven't even seen.
Yes,
How?
exactly. Yeah.
How?
There are people like,
How?
Omega's
Are you
going to be
troll?
easy.
No, this is
just like the
rage baiting.
9.5s. And I'm just like, okay, dude. Sure, 9.5s are easy. Sure.
Yeah, these fucking beta giga chads that are always like, well, back in the day when I played Monster Hunter 1 and I was soloing Fatalis with my foot because I was using my toes to guide the fucking
Fatalis
sticks.
wasn't in Monster Hunter 1, was he?
It was.
Was he?
And it was a
Wasn't
nightmare
that in
hunt.
wasn't that in the G rank thing?
I don't really know. I'm not 100%
I think that was
sure.
I think that was like in the G rank in the very first Monster Hunter. I don't think so. I could be wrong. I think Rathalos was like the big dog. That one. But I don't know.
This is where the chat needs to correct the chat. Hold on, the
Chat's gonna.
God damn it.
The comment section's gonna come in. It's like these motherfuckers say they play.
They don't even know what they're talking about.
Goddamn tourists.
but like no, people will say that like to some people Monster Hunter was never hard. And it's insane because like Monster Hunter has definitely had very, very hard challenges. Like you're not fighting EX deviants and telling me that they're easy. You're not fighting level 300 anomalies and telling me that they're easy. Like dude, the game has difficulty.
I just never fought level 300.
Oh no, yeah, fuck that. I didn't grind to level 300 either. I could not be fucked. But
it's too much.
Like 9.5s are good. 9.5s are very good level of difficulty for a base game. I don't think we should get anything much harder really.
You're going
and I think like
Omega's gonna fuck people up. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm thinking Omega is gonna be on the same level of Extreme Moth, because that's the hardest base game Monster Hunter experience in my life.
Yep. But
so I think that will come into play.
But I do think that friction is what was missing, because like I said, and this is something that I told people, like, because I played it previously and I kind of knew that the Palico was cracked, and when I went into it for the streaming playthrough, I was like, well, here are the rules. No Palico, no Sacred Recovery. And I still, now I don't even have the muscle memory for Sacred Recovery, which is actually bad because you should use Sacred Recovery on 9.5s because otherwise you're going to get stomped a lot of times. And I don't have
a lot of
the
them are
muscle
just
memory.
Combos that will knock you into the ground and then the next hit connects. I have reconnected to my muscle memory of Sacred Recovery because I reach out a lot when I'm playing. And so you can just do that and know that you're Sacred. It's like a 50-50. Sometimes the monster will still get your ass, otherwise not really. But when you're playing solo, I try to not do it because you want to take advantage of the iframes while laying down. But like difficulty-wise, the game is pretty good now.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a little bit more friction moving forward. And another thing that we didn't bring up as well, which is something that people do criticize me on a lot, is the fact that I'm not a huge fan of focus mode and wounds, because it allows you to overcorrect. Like, you should not be landing a greatsword TCS by turning 180 degrees.
Yeah.
It's nuts. That's a little bit too much.
Focus, I think, is also a bit much. I do agree, because it does take away from the animation commitment. It's like, I don't think there's anything that they can do now in this game, but it is definitely something that I would like to see addressed in the next entry. Because, like, you know how I feel like we all thought as a community, because of the way in which these games have been released, right? You have GU, then you have World, then you have Rise and Sunbreak. And then when we were getting to Wilds, I feel like we all felt, okay, so we're going to have a title that's going to be more grounded, and then a title that's going to be more arcade, and then a title that's going to be more grounded. And then Wilds kind of threw that in its head, because like, no,
out the window,
no, brother,
it's both at the same time.
Let's go. Need to go faster.
You had it figured out, huh?
Yeah. So I don't know what the next one's gonna be. It's gonna be crazy, because I don't think you can go faster than what we have in Wilds. Wilds has already reached kind of like Sunbreak levels in terms of speed. So I don't know if you can go even faster than that, but we'll see how the team is feeling.
It's just like a lot of... I don't feel like there's such a thing as a bad weapon in Wilds at the moment, because every weapon can be played almost to the point of bullying a monster in a specific way. And I think for Wilds, focus mode works, especially when you see the 9.5s. You know, the monsters are faster. You need to keep them, you know, you need to watch them more. So I'm okay with it. It's not like I hate the focus mode. It's just that a lot of people say that they want focus mode to be a permanent thing, and I disagree. I don't think it would be healthy.
I don't want it to be a permanent thing either. If anything, one of the things that I wanted to be a permanent thing that didn't become a permanent thing was switch skills. And I'm not talking about... Yeah,
switch skills is a good idea.
I want to make sure that people understand that there's a distinction between switch skills and silkbind skills. I'm not talking about silkbind skills. I'm talking about things that would change your moveset so that you can customize your moveset. Because it felt really good as you were advancing through the ranks to just like change up your playstyle and be like, oh, I have a new thing that lets me customize the moveset. So now instead of just reloading, I have this guard reload thing that also reloads my worm stakes. That's weird. Interesting.
Yeah.
But
it was very fun. And a lot of weapons benefited a lot from that system. Like Sword and Shield, you could do Shield Bash to get the stun monster, because we all know Shield Bash was like really strong.
It was super
in base Rise. But then you could change it to the I forgot what it's called. It was basically a sword dance move where you stick the sword, you thrust the sword into the monster, and then you yank it out, and it does like a couple of ticks of damage. It was really good. I really liked it, and it was good for like more elemental playstyles because your sword obviously applies elements and ailments where your shield doesn't.
Oh, you want to know
could
some
switch between the two of them.
You want to know some interesting tech for wilds? So you know when a wound is white right before you open the wound, because like it shows you, oh, this is about to go, you're about to get a wound here. If you use sword and shield and you do the focus strike, it does that and it opens the wound.
That's crazy. What?
Yeah, it will do the drill thing that you're talking about, and then the wound opens.
I thought you could only do that on broken parts of a monster, because I think that I didn't know you could open the wound with it, but I knew that if you had like a broken part of a monster, like a broken head or whatever, you could use your focus strike and it would do essentially the same thing.
Yeah,
and it's a good damage too.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Like Sword and Shield's got some hidden tech on there, like the fact that you can do focus strikes from the air. It's so cool.
It's so cool.
I love that. I'm like, I wish I could do focus strikes from the air with my Gunlance. There's no fear.
Stay on the ground, boom boy.
I'll jump off of my sacred. I want to jump off of my sacred and drill the monster. Like.
Oh man,
it's fun stuff. But yeah, I do wish we'd get more friction because, like I was saying, the way in which I did my first playthrough, where there's no sacred, no palico, no restocking, I think was the most interesting one, because the rule that I made for restocking was, if I go into the hunt from the moment that it says quest started, there's no restocking. And there were times I forgot to restock, so I go in there. It's like, oh, I have 3 mega potions. Oh no. And I wouldn't restock. So there were times that I had to take a break from the hunt to actually go and gather stuff to make more potions. And I actually thought that was fun. I thought that was really fun. And I've
made that point as well when like Arch-Tempered Ufduna came out, because I don't like Ufduna in general. But I was like, yeah, listen, if you guys think this game is easy, take your palico off and then tell me how you feel otherwise. Because, like, the palico babies you, it heals the shit out of you, it will, like, lock the monster into place. It's a different experience.
It was funny because I was in a Ratatosker stream at one point, and I just told Ratatosker, because he was playing with the palico, and I was like, damn, you're playing with the palico? Like, it's funny jabs, because I know Ratatosker, and he knows that I'm not trying to fuck with him. So I was like, playing with the palico? Damn, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I don't think it makes much of a difference. And I was like, well, turn it off. He turned off the palico,
big boy.
Instantly carded. And then after he carded, the next time this was against Jindahad. And then the next time, after he carded, he gets slapped by Jindahad, instantly does Sacred Recovery. And I was like, Sacred Recovery, huh? Yeah. So, and he was like, well, that was muscle memory. And I was like, yeah, sure. But shortly after, carts again. So instantly double carts the moment he turns off the palico.
Oh, man.
You get used to the palico. Like, when I started without the palico, Chemetries carded me.
Oh, yeah, I remember
I turned off the palico, and the Chemetries like, here's a little bit of a fire debuff. And I'm just like on fire, and I was like, oh, I can totally get that next.
Down.
No, I can totally get that next perfect guard. I didn't get the next perfect guard.
I think like that's a way to add the friction, right? But then the thing is, in my experiences, I don't want to have to add the friction myself. I would like to just experience it naturally.
Yeah, I agree. But, it is what it is. We're going to see what the team's going to come up with when it comes to that stuff. Yeah. But right now, the difficulty is on par for you. All the tools that you have, if you're fighting a 9-5, like you're gonna want to use all those tools depending on which weapon
you want to
use.
Focus mode. You want to have your palico with you if you're not hunting with.
I always just have focus mode on because of the additional forward momentum that it gives you with the Gunlance.
Oh yeah, because you get more with TCS, I think, as well. I have it on on hold still, because I like to differentiate between the two.
No, I toggle it, and it's just like, boom, we're good. We're always in focus mode. It actually annoys me. There should be a setting where it's like, don't reset focus mode. Because a lot of the times I will get caught off guard because like I think I'm in focus mode and I'm not, because I'm just used to always being in focus mode. That every time you sheath your weapon, and you unsheath it, you have to go into focus mode. And it's like, no, like, listen, I turn
Yeah.
focus mode on, leave it on. I will turn it off if I want to. Just leave it on the whole time. The whole hunt, leave it on.
Yeah, that could be a setting. I think
Yeah.
that should definitely be a setting. A little quality of life in there that would actually be kind of needed.
Yeah.
Would make things a bit better, smoother for players actually.
So, let's talk about some of these updates then, now that we have like established a baseline. Because I think both of us love Wilds, basically. You know, I think we've talked about that at length.
I do.
I do. Yeah. People don't need to hear anymore about how much we like Wilds. There's the performance issues, obviously, and there's, you know, a couple of things here or there, more friction or not, but for the most part,
It's fine.
Wilds is
I mean,
super enjoyable.
people with a brain will know that we can love something that is flawed and still
Yeah.
recognize the flaws and criticize them. The people without a brain will be like, "You guys are shields."
It's not
Like,
shields,
okay,
it's
buddy.
shills. I
Shills.
always
there
hear you
go.
say shills. It's shills.
I don't know. I don't use this word often. I don't get called a she.
It's
was
because you're a shill. That's
shill.
why.
It's because I am a shill. And you know what? I will fucking die a shill.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Shill.
You know what's really funny? I love it when people say that because I'm like, have you checked my most viewed videos? The ones with like 100,000 views and above? You haven't? Because those are the videos where I criticize Monster Hunter, and I criticize it pretty harshly.
Well,
But you
it
know,
is what
that
it
never
is.
matters to people.
So, with some of the updates, I thought that it was really cool that this time around with Title Update 1, I'm going to call it 1.5 because Title Update 1 brought like some stuff. I forget exactly what it was. But what really mattered for me was when they brought Akuma, because Akuma is such an interesting experiment because it's almost like you get a new weapon.
Yep.
1.5, whatever, it was the 8.5s and Akuma. And I was just like, so
Yep.
Akuma is just the 15th weapon. Interesting.
Oh, dude, I remember seeing the Akuma announcement. I was just like, but we just had this in Rise, so are we just having the same thing again? And then when I actually got to experience it, because you can see Akuma in the map, like the other day I ran into him at the Ruins of Wyverian, and I was like, what the heck? This dude is still lying around.
Wait,
And,
he's still there?
He's still, you can still find him. I was getting
never seen
some
him again.
Fusium ore, and I went to the part that is like by the place. So in the Ruins of Wyverian, if you go all the way to the bottom where you fight Guardian Arkveld, you can go to the side, and there is a little gate that leads to a door that leads to where Zoshia is. Although you cannot go past the gate because, you know, that's the map for Zoshia. But there's like 3 different spawns from Fusimor, so I was going down there, and lo and behold, Akuma was just standing at like in front of the door, and he's like, "I can feel a powerful monster behind us." And I was like, "Yeah, I killed him." You're a bit late to the party, buddy, but it's fine. You'll get him next time. He regenerates.
I didn't even know he could spawn in the Wyverian ruins. That's crazy.
Me
Like,
neither. He's
I've
just there.
only seen him in the oil well during the quest, and then I never saw him again. Yeah, that was interesting. But I thought that it was cool that they added that, and that's actually, I'm going to say viable. It's not, it's not going to be comparable to any of the weapons, but it does scale off of your attack, so you can kind of like build around it and use it as a weapon. And you can even like go hunting horn, buff yourself, then swap the punchies and go punch mode. I thought that was interesting. And the fact that they did that, and then they did the special thing for Zoshia's weapon, which we got White Flame Torrent, which is just like, a different skill, an actual unique skill for a new weapon that gets introduced. And then they did the thing for Corn Popper, which has the crackling Corn Popper. And then they did the thing for the pickaxes that we got, which they get more damage based on whether or not you've recently mined ore. And to me, I was
the
like, okay.
Minecraft build.
So Omega, when that comes out, the Omega weapons, which at the time I thought there was going to be more than one, but it seems like it's just going to be the Greatsword, the only Omega
No, it's
weapon.
the Greatsword and the the Greatsword is going to be a weapon, but you also have the Pictomancer.
The Pictomancer items, yeah. But in terms of actual Monster Hunter weapons, I think we're only getting one
it's
because
the
I didn't.
Greatsword.
Yeah, I didn't remember, and in my head it was going like, well, yeah, of course we got all weapons from Behemoth, but we didn't. Behemoth
No, we
was
only
just
got
it was the
Insect
Insect Glaive, yeah. It was the Truge Bolg, which was the weapon for
Dragoon
the
weapon.
Dragoon in Final Fantasy XIV. So that's when I got reminded. I was like, oh right, we are only getting a Greatsword, and it's going to be the Shadowbringer Greatsword, which means I'm going to have to become a Greatsword main for a little while at least. Even though,
Dude, you'll get addicted to the offset. All you got to learn is offset. That's it.
yeah. even though I will say Dark Knight was my least favorite tank. I played all the tanks in Final Fantasy 14, and Dark Knight was the one that I liked the least. I was like, yeah, I don't like this one.
You know what I was really hoping to see? So I didn't play much of F14 because, unlike Gaijin, when I tried it, I didn't stick to it.
Yeah, you didn't have a
I didn't say I
Rurikhan.
wouldn't like it.
You didn't have a Rurikhan over your shoulder going like, no, try this.
Yeah, a little devil was like,
giving
hey,
you
bro, no,
giving
try
you
this.
another hit of crack cocaine. Like, cause the first day that the first day that Gaijin was in Final Fantasy 14, you need to understand, he was riding the what's it called, the mount from the Alexander raid, the Cruise Chaser. I forget if that's the name, which is this. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like this mech mount that has two seats.
Yeah.
And then it transforms into a ship, right? So Gaijin was riding my my Cruise Chaser day one. He was like, oh, this is really cool. And I was like taking him to the quests and whatnot. It's like, oh, you got to go here? Yeah, hop on. Let's go. And he was just like flying. He was seeing all the cool shit. So we got kind of like hooked fairly easily because of that.
The Gaijin Final Fantasy 14 saga was the funniest thing, because I don't know about you guys, but I watched the Third Fleet podcast from day one, because actually a week before you announced and released it, I was like, man, the only podcast about Monster Hunter that I ever found was on Spotify, and it had been discontinued for ages. It's a shame. Oh well. And then next week you guys released it, and I was like, oh, here we go. And I watched the whole Gaijin Hunter. I respect you so much as a content creator. I like you very much, even though your taste in waifu sucks, but I think you're amazing. But to see you be the biggest tsundere ever for what felt like months was soul crushing. Because you were like, I don't want to play Final Fantasy 14. I don't want to play it. I'm not going to like it, Rurikhan. Stop trying to convince me. You got addicted onto that shit like it was crack, and you're still addicted to it, which is the funniest thing. Like I said, love and respect Gaijin.
He likes it more than me.
He got so into it, and I was just like, I wanted to make a montage of all the times where Gaijin said, I don't want to play Final Fantasy 14, and I ended up making a video about it at some point, which you guys addressed in a podcast once, because I was the Third Fleet podcast is dead, and it was basically me saying, Rurikhan has hooked Gaijin on Final Fantasy 14, and it is all his fault, which is why we don't get episodes anymore. And then you guys made another, like a week after I posted that video, you guys made a Third Fleet podcast, and I remember this like it was yesterday. You guys were both in the intro, and Gaijin goes, yeah, so we're making this to address that Ark fella who said that the Third Fleet podcast is gonna die. It's not, and that was the podcast. Everyone have a good time. I was like, this little Gaijin, this little Palico, he's cheeky.
Oh, we just always have fun with that. Like I still remember I think one of the funniest interactions that came out of the Third Fleet podcast. Which, by the way, I realize that we don't have as many episodes because it's kind of getting harder and harder to get a hold of Gaijin. But I still badger him, and we still continue to do the Third Fleet podcast. But like, I think one of the funniest ones was the one where I was, when we got Shogun Senator confirmed for Sunbreak, I think. When we got that confirmed, I was like, "Oh man, somebody should do the Monster Cat Media Crab Rave video." And except there would be,
and someone did,
and Common Tea Party goes in and he just does it, and he's like, "You mean like this?" And he's like, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Is it T-Common Shark that did it?
It is.
Dude, that guy is a menace. He's so scary. Like, one time on my birthday, I was like, oh, can we do... It was just around the time where the meme where the dog with the long face would be like, let me do it for you. And you'd have that meme everywhere. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if someone did this for the Palamute? Dude, 2 days after, T-Common Shark made that animation. That dude is a beast. But the crab ray thing, I was like, is this real? Am I being... clickbaited right now?
It was so good, dude. And then he did like 2 or 3 different versions of the video, and it was just like, because then he adds the Daimyo Hermitor in the back as well as like dun 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 dun.
Oh, T-Common Shark, you are You were ahead of your years, man.
Oh, that was
People
so
do not
good.
understand your art.
Yeah, that was perfect. But where was I? I think I kind of got lost. So yeah,
Oh,
we're talking about
Final Fantasy 14 collab.
Yeah,
Unique weapon skills.
unique weapon skills. So I said before the thing started, I was like, I think that the weapons we're getting from Omega are going to have unique weapon skills, and it does. It has a unique weapon skill. I forget exactly what it is because it's not the Blackest Night.
The Blackest Night.
No, the
black.
I don't think it's the Blackest Night. I think the Blackest Night is something that you're gonna. Then again, it might be the Blackest Night. I don't know.
I don't know. I read the website and the description was as vague as it gets because it's Monster Hunter, so they obviously give you a
they're gonna make
description that is like, this does a thing, and you're just like, but what is the thing?
But they're going to make like a guide that's going to be available on the 29th when the thing gets released.
They're like, man, you guys sure complained when we did the Akuma stuff. I guess now we got to make an official guide for it.
They're going to make an official, like a raid guide for you to go do it because Omega is definitely going to be tuned for multiplayer. They didn't like confirm that, but they kind of hinted at. They said you need to find a party of your best hunters and get together to organize and strategize and yada yada yada.
So, man.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a thing. It'll be interesting to see what level of coordination is going to be required because like for Extremoth. Like, I don't know, did you ever do Extremoth back in...
Dude, I'm just gonna say this. You get Charybdis, you go to the fucking corner. I don't care who you are. I don't care. Leave
Did you watch
the
my
hunt
guide?
if you must. I did actually, but I watched the guide while I had already established the whole Charybdis rule, because I used to play with my best friend and this other friend of mine called Ron, and Ron used to play Encyclave, and he would get that fucking thing, and he'd spread it all over the place, and I'm just like, you are driving me insane.
You can't play Aerial Glaive. We had to have Kegren swap over to something else, because he would be playing Aerial Glaive, and then he would just like drop that thing in the middle.
It was so painful.
And it's not his fault. It's not the fault of the Encyclave user because
he's just playing the game.
No, because unfortunately the little AoE thing that shows that you have Charybdis, it shows up on the ground.
On the ground,
even if you're flying in the air and you have no idea you have it, there's like something in the ground that's like, oh, here comes Charybdis. And the Encyclave user would, because Encyclave was actually very good for Behemoth because he would chop the tail every time. But the problem is the Charybdis deaths wouldn't make up for the fact that he was chopping the tail every time.
Yeah, by the time you chop the tail, your entire team's died like 4 times. Everyone's carded out. But I saw the trailer and I looked at the website and I was looking at all the skills, like the shield bubble. Because I don't play Final Fantasy 14, so when I heard about Omega, I was like, oh, look, a robot turtle. I need to look into it. I don't know anything about it. And I went into it, and I was like, we're so cooked. This thing kills gods.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I was like, why does Wally's cousin that looks so goofy is out here killing Bahamut or whatever?
I mean,
the
people
reason... are like, oh, we want Bahamut, and I thought Bahamut looked cool, and I was like, yeah, sure, Bahamut looked cool. Why not? And then this thing, like, imprisons Bahamut or something. I'm like, whoa, what?
No, it's not Bahamut. It's Shinryu.
Shinryu, there you go. Sorry.
Yeah, it's another dragon. Yeah, but like the Omega thing, the reason why he has that shell-like thing is because that was the creature that he found to be one of the most resilient creatures, and so that was the reason he did that. Because when you actually go through the series of raids that is the Omega raid, he eventually swaps forms. He evolves during those raids, which is why
he
in the very last phase of those, he basically takes on the same form as the players, because it's like, well, they're beating me. Clearly, they're the best, so I must evolve and become like them. And he has humanoid forms, basically.
Horrifying. Yeah, I looked into it and I was like, wow, this has a lot of potential for the fight. Yeah. I wouldn't think that we would have like the humanoid stuff.
No, I don't think we're getting
Ancient Leshen.
I don't think we're getting the humanoid version of Omega.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I think we will definitely see him like potentially swap forms into something else or something. I don't know, but I think it'll be really, really cool.
I have a question for you. Why does it spawn or clone an Ursula?
To paralyze you so that then it shoots you with a laser.
Oh, so that's to to prepare. What was it? I call it the Illuminati triangle laser.
Yeah,
but it was
I
called
think
something else.
I think that's what it was because they said something in the website about that. But yeah, it spawns a Nursilla, and then if you notice, the Nursilla
Oh.
paralyzes and whatever else and poisons. At least it seemed like it was paralyzing there, which is weird because Nursilla sleeps. It doesn't paralyze.
Yeah, I don't.
But in
think
there
it
it seemed-
paralyzes you. But if it creates a clone, it can do whatever it wants with the clone.
Yeah. But basically, I think that's why he's trying to like set you up to get blasted. So if you get caught out of position by that, you're gonna get blasted by the laser. At least I think
That
that's
makes sense.
But yeah, but Omega can like create things. That's what he is doing in the thing called, I think it was called the Dreamscape. He basically creates trials that you have to go through so that it can evaluate if you're good enough. And Alpha also has
That's
his own
pretty cool.
Alpha, the little chocobo looking thing, the little
Yeah.
creature. He's with you all the time. And I don't want to spoil it, okay? I'm not going to spoil it, but if you do the Omega raids, you gain a whole different respect for Alpha. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. You gain a lot of respect for that little guy. And they also explain to you why he has that coat, because he has the coat in this one, doesn't he? He has like a little coat.
He does. He has like a little
the-
jacket.
The I think they're called the Ironworks coat. Yeah, it's all explained in the game. Like there's I don't know if they're
pretty
going to
cool.
explain anything in Wilds, but like Alpha, yeah, Alpha's the goat. It's really really cool what happens in the end of the Omega raids. It like if you were to do it, it might even bring a tear to your eye. Is all I'm gonna say.
Damn, that
yeah,
good?
Yeah, it is that good. Like
That's high praise.
I can spoil it for you after the podcast if you want, but I'm not going to say it
Yes,
for
I
people
do want that, but not
that
during the
haven't
podcast.
experienced it yet. Yeah, because that's the thing. When it comes to Final Fantasy XIV, you simply do not do spoilers. You don't do spoilers because you want everybody to actually see it for themselves.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So I have a lot of respect for Alpha, and the whole thing about Omega is that he goes to different dimensions. So from a lore perspective, it actually makes sense. Like
he
this
goes to
can
Monster Hunter.
This can be a canon event in Final Fantasy XIV.
That's so cool, dude.
I'm not. This can literally be a canon event in Final Fantasy XIV that Omega came here to study to see if he needed to evolve based on the monsters that exist in this dimension, because that's just
really
a
cool.
part of his
That's
lore.
really-
It's not just like, because the Witcher's like, oh yeah, there was a portal and I showed up, isekai, hey, and even though it is an isekai trope, when it comes to Omega, it actually makes
Omega is like the OG isekaier. He just does it himself.
It's just built into his lore in Final Fantasy XIV. So
that's really cool. You know what? That makes it so that this will not just be just a quote unquote random collab. It makes it even. It makes it, like you said, it pretty much makes it actually.
It can be
canon.
considered canon depending on what they do with the story, which I don't know what they're doing with the story in Wild, so we'll have to see. Now, I don't know how we get the Dark Knight and Pictomancer jobs. So the way that it works in Final Fantasy XIV is you play like a certain class, and then eventually you get like your class stone, which is like this crystal that has the knowledge of people that came before you, and that kind of like teaches you how to become that specific job, because everything in Final Fantasy is about, crystals and stuff. So I'm assuming that might be what we get. We get one of the soul crystals, and that allows us to become a Dark Knight or a Pictomancer.
Mhm.
Now, the Pictomancer is going to be able to be used by anyone. So anyone can do the Pictomancer spells. Now, the way that Pictomancer works, and I never played a Pictomancer in 14, but my understanding is like it's like one of those spell-casting systems where you do 3 things, and then depending on the 3 things that you did, you get a specific spell. It's like, oh, I did bat, ball, and I don't know, Mog. And now
Bro,
I get
hunting horn players are gonna eat this up.
Oh yeah, the hunting horn players are gonna love this. If it works anything like in Final Fantasy XIV, this is a hunting horns player.
I saw a little
like
bar
dream.
fill in with like a couple of different icons. I guess it will work the same way.
It might work the same way. So basically, you choose the different things, and then you do a little combo, and a little spell happens. Because
That's really cool.
People will see Pictomancer, and I kind of feel like the first thing they'll assume is support class. No, Pictomancer is a caster DPS.
Bro, what do you mean support class? It casted like a laser cannon
Yeah, it's
at the thing.
It's
and
a
they
support
improved-
laser.
they went out of their way to be like, by the way, Pictomancer is not going to do as much damage outside of the collab. And I'm just like, how much damage does it have to do in Omega's fight for you to openly state this will not be this strong in a hunt? Because I was instantly thinking of like every speedrunner in the world just being like, yeah, here you go, 9-5 Gormagala in 20 seconds with Pictomancer because the laser was just that strong. I was like, how strong is this thing?
I don't know. I don't know if Pictomancer is going to be mandatory. I think that little slinger ammo that they use, I think that's going to be mandatory, the one that does the shield, which I didn't even notice that it was a slinger shot, because I just thought, oh, looks like the hunting horn player might have had an item, and then Chow was like, no, the greatsword guy shot something, and I went back a couple frames, oh yeah, he does shoot something.
Yeah, I thought it was the hunting horn song. I was like,
yeah, no,
did they give him additional mechanics? No, you saw, yeah, someone in chat also pointed it out, because I was just like, what?
I'm also wondering if you're going to need to have the Blackest Night to do Omega. For those of you that don't play 14, Blackest Night, at least back when I was still playing it, was the strongest mitigation, like low cooldown mitigation that you could have in the whole game. It was the Blackest Night. It had like the biggest amount of, and on top of it, after you get hit, you get to do a chunk of damage afterwards, which is the whole thing about that. It's like something hits, breaks your shield, and then you get to like do a special move that does tons of damage. So that's the thing about
so
the
it's
Dark
like
Knight.
a counter.
It's not technically a counter. It's more like, oh, this thing bursted. That means that if you do this attack now, it's like supercharged.
Okay.
It's like that's kind of, it's not like, oh, you bursted an auto counter. No, it's like it bursts and it superpowers this thing. I don't know how.
So it's like
work
more of a
Wilds.
combat system on itself.
Yeah. But I don't know how it will work in Wilds, but I'm curious if the Dark Knight's going to be mandatory, because that's the whole thing when you have these types of fights. It might end up being that for getting your first clears, at least, you might actually need to have some of these gimmicky things that a lot of people in Monster Hunter
100%.
don't like. But I think it might be required, but we don't know. This is all speculation at this point. Like I said, the guide's going to be out on the 29th, where they're going to be detailing everything. I'm still a little bit conflicted on the guide coming out the day of, because it's almost like,
I would say before it would make more sense, because on the day of, people want to play it.
No, I would say that it would actually make more sense like 2 or 3 days after it's been out.
Oh, so like give people a little bit of a tough love situation, and then be like, yo, by the way.
It's because in MMORPGs, when a raid comes out, the developers won't give you the solution. You have to figure it out. You have to figure out the mechanics. You have to learn.
True.
And if you're just going to give people a guide, then it's like, it's going to make it harder, because if you want to go in with randoms, they're going to expect you to have read the guide. So it just creates this situation where somebody that wants to actually experience the mechanics and try to figure them out and try to discover how this works, they're going to be ostracized by the community. It's like, why didn't you read the guide? Everybody knows that when he's doing the big laser beam, you shoot the grenade and you hide in the shield. I mean, come on. Are you stupid?
No, you're right. You're right. I didn't think of it that way. Because that is a flaw in my thinking right there.
Yeah, I always think of these things like, wouldn't it be cool for us to discover these mechanics? But it's like, even with Alatreon, they tell you like, yeah, you hit the monster with elemental damage and you hit the elemental threshold and he falls over, and then you're not going to die from Eschaton Judgment. And it's like, wouldn't it be cool for us to discover that? Just tell us, maybe use elemental weapons and figure it out, and good luck. Like, that would have been enough.
I think that'd be
people
good.
Would figure it out.
A lot of people would consider that quote-unquote bad game design, because exploration is so frowned upon.
But see, that's the thing.
I'm like, that would be good.
I feel like the team at this point is almost scared of taking chances, because they've been eating so many shit sandwiches over the performance thing, which, sure, fair game. A lot of it is deserved, although death threats and sending people certain mail and stuff like that, probably
it's a video game, people. Just say
not
you don't
even
like
probably,
it and move on.
It's extremely unhinged, and you shouldn't do that. But, criticizing them online for like, hey, the performance of the game is bad, I think that's perfectly acceptable and deserved.
I think if you turn around and be like, hey man, I don't think there's such a thing as making an excuse for the Wild's performance. I never do, and I don't think anyone with their head screwed on straight would ever say like, no, the performance is excused because of this. Or the people that just turn around and say, just get a better PC. Like, no, no, it shouldn't be the case, because like I have an overkill PC, but that's because I'm a content creator. We need overkill PCs. We need something that is able to play the game at a good quality and stream it and record it and all that jazz. But this shouldn't be the norm, especially with how pricing goes for PC components at the moment. Are you kidding? Like, no, absolutely not. But at the same time, you know, just set your piece and move along. And I think you're 100% right. I think because even in the stream today, the official one, I had the comments turned off, but I went back to have a look just out of curiosity. And the amount of people echoing just fix performance is like,
yep,
yeah. I wouldn't even dare try to add friction, because if you do, people are just gonna bitch about it.
That's the problem, because like now you release this, and on top of it, even if it wasn't just for the performance stuff, they've already gotten the game review bombed when Elatreon came out, and then review bombed again when Fatalis came out. So it's like, well, we're gonna put this monster with this really quirky mechanics. We better teach them how to do it, otherwise here comes another review bomb. But at the end of the day, what they should also learn is like, people that are going to review bomb, they're not going to bother to go read a guide. They're going to jump into the game, they're going to fail the quest, and they're going to be like, this sucks.
People that are going to review bomb are going to be like, why is my Ardian weapon not dealing with this monster in 4 minutes? And then they're going to be upset.
I have a perfectly rolled Ardian weapon, and a perfectly rolled talisman, and a perfectly rolled something, and boom.
And I still can't do it. And it's like, oh, but have you tried shielding during the laser? No, but I shouldn't be expected to watch a guide. I was like, well, at which case, it's the good old saying, like Gandhi once said, skill issue. If you're actively refusing to engage with things that teach you how to be better, and straight up, like, if you refuse to adapt, I think this is really weird, right? Because the Monster Hunter community is all based on adaptability. Sure, you have builds that are better. Sure, you have builds that are meta. But the whole purpose of playing Monster Hunter is you adapt to your target.
Yeah. I've always liked the idea of like, oh, we should be making, you know, the element that is against the monster that we're fighting.
I'm super for it. I hate the fact that paralysis and sleep and blast are still dominating, because like, dude, this is so relevant. 2 days ago when I was doing a for Omega stream, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get like a couple of Ardian weapons for the elemental charge blades, because I want to know what element it is weak to, and I want to try to play along with that. Because like in Rise, you get 2 weapons. Rise what? In Wilds, you get 2 weapons. Yeah. So you could swap between the elements, and you know, that could be fun. And people were just like, yeah, don't bother, mate. And I was like, but why? And they go, real talk, status elements are still far better than element. And I'm like, well, okay, that sucks. But it's kind of curious to me that for some reason people just refuse. I don't think it's a majority of the people, I'll be real with you. It's just a very loud minority that is like, I have to adapt to the game. This is bad game design.
Yeah. I always liked the idea. Like, I was even saying that, for instance, for Arc Tempered New Udra, which is another thing that we're getting with Title Update 3, I was saying, wouldn't it be cool if you had to use Fire Resist? Like, you have to use it. Otherwise, you die. You either use Fire Resist or you die. And then on top of it, you have to use Water Element to put out the fire. I think that'd be great. Cool. Yeah. Like some mechanic where it's like actually adapt. Like, maybe not have to, but let's put it like this. You can still overcome that if you're really, really good. But if you're just like average or slightly above or something along those lines, you would require like at least have like 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 points of fire resistance.
It's the same argument as Elatreon.
Yeah. Just like
it's the same argument. If you really want to make it happen, you can. You just need to try hard enough. You need to, like, if you want to kill Elatreon with blast or paralysis or sleep,
you can.
Sure, you can do it. But if you're struggling with it, then that means that the fight is, you're struggling with it because that's the way that they intend the fight to be. But also, just admit it, you're not good enough to pull it off. I've been playing this game for so long, I cannot solo Elatreon without elemental weapons, without carding. And it's the same argument here. If you want to go into, like, I agree with you on the Arch-Tempered New Udra thing, because I'm like, Arch-Tempered so far haven't been harder than 9.5s. At least in my opinion, they haven't been harder. I fought 9.5s and I find them harder, like, not all of them. Like, I think 9.5 Ray Dao is still pretty, I don't want to say easy, but like easier than a
I think Arc
than an
Tempered.
Arch-Tempered?
I think Arc Tempered Uthduna is harder than 9-5 Uthduna.
It's because it has 2 extra belly flop moves.
I don't know. I just
Isn't
know
it?
that he feels harder than 9-5 Uthduna.
But the point basically is you can use the same build for both.
Yeah.
And
you
I don't
can.
like it.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be forced to adapt to the quote-unquote apex of difficulty.
You can get some quality of life against Uthduna by having the thing that stops you from getting pushed around by the waves.
Yeah.
That makes a bit of a difference. So there's something
Meyer
there.
Walker, isn't it?
Yeah, Meyer Walker. Yeah, you can do that one. But yeah, I'd like to see more of that. Actually have the players be forced to change something rather than just like, nope, this is the meta build and this is how you play it. Like, I still remember the amount of people that were like, why would you use Uthduna's gauntlets? Why would you not use Ray Dow's that come with evade extender? It's like, well, because the Uthduna gauntlets come with like a bunch of tool specialists and I want to have tool specialist.
Yeah.
Tool specialist not that important. It's like, okay, but every 5 minutes I'm basically invincible.
Yeah, exactly. You get your Rocksteady
I
mental.
put the
and you just
Rocksteady
go to
up every
town.
5 minutes, and I just don't even have to look at the monster. What the monster's doing? It's like I don't care. Brah brah brah. Full blast.
And
let's go.
The good thing is, if you're playing with multiplayer, then your team can benefit you if they do this kind of stuff. You can benefit each other. You can put an effort of teamwork in there,
Yeah.
which is what I would like to see. It's, again, that's friction. That, in my opinion, is healthy.
Yeah, which is
But it's
another
like,
one.
like you said, people that spam blast builds every single Monster Hunter game and they do nothing else.
It's funny.
They're not gonna bother listening to a guide on Omega. They're gonna go in, they're gonna get folded, and then they're gonna go straight into the Steam reviews or whatever review platform you're using and gonna write game bad. You could literally have you could have Alma sit them down and give them a lecture on it, and they're still not gonna listen.
The funny thing is, you said like these people that roll blast. It's like my perfectly rolled Ardian Gunlance is blast.
Yeah, I know. I'm very fucking jealous of it because I haven't. Dude, I have had the most abysmal luck with Ardian weapons, and I'm okay with it. But that's a whole separate topic. Ardian weapons versus monster weapons.
We talked about that one. Yeah, monster weapons should always win. Not win, but at least be on par with Ardian weapons. That's the way that I look at it. Ardian should be there to
100%.
complement the tree rather than replace it. And it kind of sucks. That they just replace
Ardian
the
weapons
tree.
should be there to make up for gaps.
Yeah, like a
oh,
water,
your
a
hammer
water
doesn't
element
have a
Gunlance.
Yeah, exactly. A water element gun or a paralysis gun lens because the
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Lalabarina one isn't too good, so you can make something a bit better. It shouldn't just be it dominates everything. But that's a design choice that they
everything.
made. We disagree with it. It is what it is.
But yeah, and then the another thing about the Dark Knight is that it is going to be like Akuma, so it's going to be enhanced by the Bale armor set, which basically the armor set that we're getting is actually not Omega M and F as a lot of people were theorizing. It is going to be
It's the Dark Knight armor.
The Dark Knight job armor. People are saying that it's the artifact armor. I'm assuming it's from the Shadowbringers expansion since he gets the Shadowbringer sword. So that would be what
And
makes
I'm all
the most
for
sense.
it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Shadowbringers.
I was hoping for some like maybe Paladin, because if there was one weapon that I really wanted to bring over from
Gunblade.
The gun, like is it Gunbreaker? Is that the name of the class?
Gunbreaker, yeah. The Gunbreaker.
Gunbreaker, I'm just like the Gunblade that you can bring in, maybe add a shield, turn that into a Gunlance. I'd be like, oh, that would have been the coolest thing ever. But what we are getting also seems really cool. But we all have our preferences.
It's so funny because the Gunblade is the reason why I got into Gunlance, because I was a big fan of the Gunblade in Final Fantasy VIII.
Surprise, surprise.
So then I was like, oh, Gunlance, I like this. This looks like fun. This is the one I want. Reminds me of the Gunblade. So yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see how it all pans out and how useful Blackest Night is going to be outside of Omega, because Blackest Night, like I said, it's one hell of a mitigation tool in Final Fantasy XIV. As to how much it will mitigate in Monster Hunter Wilds remains to be seen, and maybe it's only useful in the Omega fight, or maybe not. But we'll see how that pans out, because they definitely want those things to be useful in other fights as well. I feel
100%. I feel like it'd be good. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be like I said. I think it's gonna be like Akuma. I don't think it's gonna be meta. I think it's gonna be viable. potentially more than viable for Omega, but like that's the point. It's
Yeah,
that
but
it's
even-
better there and not as good elsewhere. Just like Pictomancy.
But you're giving a Giga Shield to Greatsword users, which already have blocking, guard clashing, offsetting, and now they have less risk.
Rurikhan, let's just be happy that
gonna be-
Gunlance isn't shit and move on.
Yeah,
Let's just
true.
be happy about that.
No,
let's
man.
let's not pipe
no,
up.
you know what? You know what? Fuck Josh from Rage. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, Josh, you've had it easy for too fucking long.
Yeah, bro.
Drop the great sword. Go pick up a long sword.
We're done-
Not a long sword. A gun.
We're done with your bullshit.
Fucking, you're probably gonna win that fucking. What was it? The art contest for the weapons
yeah,
again because they had the.
You're gonna get
the
that shattered great sword.
shattering
Yeah.
great sword.
What is this? Some bull. You get the Shadowbringer. Now you get the reality shattering. The fuck. What the hell
Yeah,
is this?
Josh, how about you drop some of those crumbs for the? How about you just like
Yeah.
scrape your
May I
plate
have
onto
some
the floor
oats,
so that we can
brother?
have some. You may
some
have no oats, brother.
Obviously, we're joking. Both of us love Josh and the Rage Gaming crew. They're all awesome.
Very much so. Josh has been way too kind to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Josh is like super sweet to me because when he found out that I went to the event in London, he
And
was
you guys
like,
didn't
man.
get to meet because he went one day before
No,
you did.
I went on the day. Dude, there's a whole story about it, but like I met a
damn.
huge VTuber that I'm a big fan of, and I didn't even know she was there, so I freaked the fuck out when I found out it was her. Cause like, did you see the video I made? I made a video on this topic.
I might have seen it, but as we all know, my memory is that of a goldfish.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say you would have remembered because it's basically your fault that I didn't know she was there. And
it's my fault?
Yeah, Josh, not Jono. Jono was gonna tell me. Mr. Tummy Giggles is just like so happy that I corrected myself there. But he told me who it was, but you showed me something on your phone because we were having dinner, and I didn't have the balls in me to be like, who was it again?
Oh my god, dude. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, I was on the day after you guys, so I didn't get to meet them, and Josh has been like super nice to me, giving me tips about being a better creator. And just overall being like a super good hype man. I'll say this, like the Monster Hunter community when it comes to the creators, I have yet to meet a single person that I've had a negative impression of, because everyone's just aside from Gaijin, he likes Minoto, he's in the wrong, I'm never forgiving him for it, but
Damn.
you know,
This is why Gaijin will never speak with you. You just slandered him.
yeah, it's because I'm right and he knows it.
Sure.
I'm gonna get like the angriest DM from Gaijin after this.
Yep.
The new generation of Monster Hunter creators is just bad.
So we get that. We're also going to be getting an event. So this by the way, I think we already said it goes live on the 29th, so Monday.
Yes.
We don't know the exact time. I'm curious if it will be on the night of Monday or on the night of Sunday.
Oh, I think it's
That's
night of
another one.
Sunday.
You think it'll be night of Sunday?
Usually,
But
usually
like,
when they announce it on the day, it's like it's gonna be from early hours in the morning, kind of Monday. That's usually how it works, if I'm not wrong.
no, I think it's usually the other way around because it will be Monday
Is
in
it?
the U.S. because the U.S. is behind us in terms of
Oh,
hours.
You're right.
So it will be Monday in the U.S., but it will be like the 30th for us. I think that's
Right.
So I'm assuming, we don't know, so don't just assume this is correct. But I'm
Don't quote us on
assuming
this.
it will be the night of Monday to Tuesday when this thing will go live at around like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning or something like that. Because I think we
Yeah.
also have summertime kicking in. I don't know if it's this weekend, but I think not summertime, wintertime, whatever the crap, bro.
Yeah.
This
Where
stupid
we lose
thing,
an hour of sleep.
this dumb thing that we do where it's like, hey, there's one more hour now, you're so smart. It's like, yeah, make it harder for everybody that needs to coordinate internationally. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, give me
Helps a lot.
one less hour of sleep before I go to work the next morning. I
Yeah,
appreciate
make me
it. Thank
more
you very much.
miserable.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, so that's when that update's going live. Then on the 22nd of October, we're going to have the Dream, what's it called? Dream something?
Oh, dream spell.
Dream Spell, the Dream Spell Festival of Accord, which is going to bring with it a whole bunch of new event quests, among which will be the new 3 9-star monsters, which is Blangonga. It's one of the Guardian monsters. Which one is it? Is Fulgurangi? Might be Guardian Fulgurangi. It's
Fulgur. It's because we only have Fulgur as a Guardian, so it's Guardian, Fulgur, a Rurikhan, and Blagonga.
Yeah, and Blagonga. Blangonga. Those are
But
going to
they
be
are
the
event quests.
yeah, they're
aren't
event
they?
quests. Yeah, I was hoping that they would show
I'm not
up
happy
in the map.
with that.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm pretty upset about it because like my biggest criticism towards the 9.5, in fact, the 8.5 system was, I don't want this to be just the apexes and Arkveld and Gore when you have amazing monsters like Shei Wu and Lala Barina and, you know, to an extent even Doshaguma. I really like Doshaguma, but like I want them as 9.5s. I want to hunt those guys.
I don't know about Doshaguma as 9.5. I think Doshaguma could be like an 8.5 because Doshaguma you fight him fairly early. Shei Wu I think could definitely be a 9.5 for sure. And there's a couple of more that, like, I would like 9.5 Guardian Rathalos. Guardian Rathalos is one of my favorite monsters.
Oh, that would be
in this game.
horrifying.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be amazing.
That'd be an incredible hunt.
9.5 Guardian Rathalos. Now you're speaking my language. But yeah, I think those would be fun. But I think we definitely need more 9.5s.
like-
But the thing is, I want them in the map because the way that I play Wilds
Yes.
is usually I just open up the map and I'm like, okay, what's the hardest thing that's on the map right now? All right, let's go. That's the one. Boom,
That's
go.
literally what I do all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like the rest system. It has its flaws, but
I
I
don't
like
like
the rest system as in.
No.
Well, I like it in the sense that you can refresh the map, and then
No.
you can be like, right,
Burn
what do I
that.
get?
Burn that to the ground. That system
Are you more of a
sucks.
fan of the system that we had in the Guiding Lens, the lore system?
What I want is something different. I talk about this all the time. You know that festival that the Woodwoods do? Where you go there and they're like all having the little fire
okay.
thing. So
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
want is I want one of those on each of the maps. And what happens is you go there and rather than resting and hoping that something happens, you go there and you're just like, all right, this is the festival of the 9.5s. So now every monster that shows up on the map has like an 80% chance to be a 9.5. Boom. It's not
I
even
can see
100%.
that.
And like you do that festival and it's like, oh, we're summoning all the evil spirits or something. We're channeling into the what's the name of the DNA strands thing?
Everworm.
Is it ever? No, it's not Everworm. It's got a
No,
name. The
isn't it?
DNA strands thing. The Dragon
that
Torch.
connect to the Dragon Torch.
They're connected to the Dragon, whatever. The Dragon Torch now draws in the evil spirits and all the big baddies come out. And you can like customize these maps. So like maybe, oh, actually things are getting too heated. I want only white monsters in here, no tempereds.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's
a
another
problem.
thing. Like Jacob was talking about. It's like, bro, I'm Hunter rank 250. I can't fight non-tempered monsters anymore.
No, yeah, you're right. They
So
keep
you could
spawning. There's
you could
definitely...
like so you could like have a system where it's like, oh, I want things harder. I want things without being tempered. I want like give us a couple of degrees of control. And because that way you still get that random wilds experience, which I kind of feel like is what they wanted. They wanted it to be random.
Yeah.
Because that was another one of the hidden rules that I had in my playthrough is like can't repeat quests. So I can only do optional
Right.
quests once. Right. And so
And then
I
you have
had
to pray
to
that they're on the map.
yeah, exactly. I had to make do with whatever was on the map. And so that was also
That sounds
another
pretty
thing
dapper, actually. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool. Cool way to experience the game.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty badass. So, besides that, so we're getting all those event quests and all of that stuff. And then in December, they gave us a little teaser of what to expect for title
Holy
update
crap,
4.
dude. My microphone peaked so hard. My poor microphone really struggled because I've been saying this for ages, right? And I had people in my chat that were like, the leaks confirm. And I was like, the same leaks that confirmed Legaia Crescent World, right? Them leaks, right? Because I hate it when people come out. Listen, okay, let me say this in this way. I understand that there is an audience for the people that like leaks. I don't consume leaks, but I understand that there's an audience for it. I think it's a dick move if you put a leak in a thumbnail.
I think it sucks.
But I'm like, whatever. You do if you consume it in your own time and you're not out here spoiling it for people, good on you. You're being a decent person. But I had a lot of people that are like, the leaks confirmed the Ark, and I'm like, leaks aren't always right. And also, Stop trying to bust my balls. Gogmazios just got announced after 10
Yeah.
years, and you're out here saying,
See,
but
and
the
that's-
leak said it was
see,
right.
that's
I'm
the
like,
thing.
fuck off, bro.
That just
let me be happy.
That just actually confirms the negative effect that leaks can have on a community, where it's like the people that saw the leaks, they're not excited about Gogmazios at all. They're like, yeah, I knew it all along. It's like, well, that's great. Don't get excited.
And you got
then,
the other part of the community that's like absolutely losing their minds because
Yeah.
Gogmazios
just got announced.
Gogmazios coming back is a big deal.
I've never fought Gogmazios.
He's on. Oh, you think you like hunting monsters that force you to hunt with multiplayer? Welcome to Gogmazios, because
Let's go.
if hunting that motherfucker solo, unless you had a heavy piercing bowgun, because like heavy bowgun with pierce melts that guy. I don't know if they're gonna change that. I hope they do, because otherwise it will be like easy mode.
No, they'll change it.
Hunting
just like
that
they
dude
changed.
solo is so hard.
Yeah. So
But yeah, it's a big deal.
So the whole thing with Gogmazios is also that the whole thing about it being a multiplayer hunt, it's just going to be the same thing that I ended up doing with Elatreon and Fatalis. I just opened up lobbies. It's like, okay, guys, let's go. Everybody that needs their Gogmazios clear,
Yep.
everybody that needs their Omega clear, everybody join in. Because usually the people that will be in these lobbies will be people that watch like the guides that I've done and stuff like that. So we already have the strategies down, and boom, there we go.
Man, I need to think about that, because I usually just get my viewers and I pray. But then again, like pretty much all of my viewers are better at me in Monster Hunter, so it's fine. The amount of people that watch me and join my like open lobby streams and they're Hunter rank 999, and I'm just like, you guys are insane. You know that, right?
Oh man.
But no, yeah, I think you're gonna love Gogmazios, because he is basically a very, very large Gormagala. It's the same skeleton, but he has a bunch of unique mechanics. And in 4U, you had, I don't know if you want to talk about this now or later. So if I'm getting ahead of our
No, go ahead.
points. So in 4U, and like literally the best person to ever talk to you about this is Gaijin, for multiple reasons. But because he loves Gogmazios.
He loves Gogmazios, I know.
So like to the point where some people might not even know this, but that icon that we saw in the roadmap, that's the first time Gogmazios has ever gotten an icon.
Yeah, because he was a question mark.
Yeah, he was just a question mark. There was a fan-made one, which like Gaijin used as his channel thing for a long time. I don't know how I know this. I just do. But it's just canon. But it's the first time he's ever gotten an icon. And what you used to do is you used to fight him in an arena map. I forgot the name of it. It was like the barracks or something. But you fought him in Dendorma, which is a big deal. And the whole point of like, I'll break this down a little bit. Lore-wise, we know very little about Gogmazios. Very, very little. No, he's not a black dragon. People think he's a black dragon. He's not a black dragon. He's an elder dragon. He is the largest flying monster. Sorry, elder dragon. Sorry, because there's Yamatsukami and he's bigger. So he basically eats sulfur. So his whole thing is, I've been asleep for 20 years. Man, I could eat some gunpowder right now. Holy shit, that's a guild base. I'm just gonna stroll in. Yo, why are these people so upset that I'm eating gunpowder? What's their problem? And so the whole lore is that when he comes in, he eats it. He's really pissed off because he's hangry, and people are trying to stop him from having his cereal. And so he loses his mind, and you get a lot of cool things from it. So people know very little about him because there's not a lot of them out there. And his whole thing is that he consumes sulfur that is naturally occurring, but because, the guild uses ballistic technology, they obviously are very interested in that. And so Gogmazios comes in, noms that shit, and leaves. And he destroys the place in the process. But the actual fight mechanics were... Oh, another fun thing that you're gonna like. Monster Hunter wanted to make this a demon-inspired monster, but the original designs made it look a little bit too Dark Souls-like, because it looked like a demon in terms of the silhouette, and so they turned it into a dragon a little bit more. But when he stands up and you see like the two glowing dots and the joke that he looks like a penis when he stands up and shows you his neck, the reason as to why that is a thing is because they wanted you to be afraid of him. They wanted to make him menacing, so they gave him this demonic appearance on his chin by having holes to like be a cooling system or something. Kind of looks like a dick, not gonna lie, but it's fine. He looks menacing. And mechanic-wise, the way that you fight him is you'd have... You know how in Fatalis you had, like, the cannons and the ballista and the roaming ballista?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, where you have a little platform with a cannon, and you can go to 3 different places in this map. Like, it's old Monster Hunter here, so you would go to a button, hit it with a pickaxe, and then it goes to the right. And you could do that, like, on 3 different platforms, so you could move this place around. And then you have someone on the ballista, which would basically do high damage to Gogmazios, but Gogmazios wouldn't like it, because the hunters on the ground are supposed to distract it. But this thing is massive, so the hunters on the ground have their work cut out for him. And the thing is, Gogmazios isn't dumb. He's super aggressive. So the second he sees someone loading the cannonballs, he's like, yeah, bitch, you ain't doing that. And he just fires a laser that blows you and your family to hell. So
I think
he was a really cool fight in that regard.
I think that one of my favorite things about that fight is going to be the weapon mechanics. Like, cause considering that he eats gunpowder, he explodes, does all of these things, I'm assuming that he's going to have, like, a pretty cool weapon mechanic to him, the same way that we've been getting these unique weapon mechanics. And
so
it's gonna,
I'm hoping that
I'm
you're
sure it's
right.
going to be right up my alley when it comes to Gunlance.
I'm really, really hoping you're right, because here's
Oh,
the thing,
yeah.
and I hate to break your heart with this. His gear kind of sucks.
No! Shut up!
His gear looks amazing, but he is... Don't ask why, but his gear is sleep gear. It's sleep weapons.
No, that was just like in the old games. They didn't know how to do it right. It's fine.
Yeah, my bad.
That's just in like
But,
for you. That happened back then. Forget about it.
Yeah, they could easily make a unique skill
No,
for it, because
they're gonna make very much in the same way that they like remade the fights for Alatran and Fatalis. They're gonna do something along those lines for Gogmazios, I bet.
100%.
And so I'd expect that the skills will reflect that. My biggest thing is I think they've been doing a pretty good job of a lot of equipment, even though it's kind of like an upgrade. It still doesn't entirely replace like maybe the previous gear set that you have, depending on what gear set you're working with and whatnot. I'm hoping that they keep that up and not just get us into a Fatalis gear situation again.
Yeah, no, I don't ever want to see that again. I don't want to get... I know a lot of people defend the whole thing of like,
a lot of
but
people
it's
like
the final monster, so I should have the best gear. But it's like, no.
I want to
'Cause
keep set building. I want to keep making more sets.
Even if it's past the game, like when I went back to World, when we had the Return to World campaign, one of the thoughts that was sitting in the back of my mind was, I don't want to do any guild, like a lot of builds, because I know that when I get to Fatalis, that's it. It's Fatalis. Fatalis dominates on every weapon, so it doesn't really matter
unless you're doing
what I want to build.
some Frostcraft build, then you want Ark.
Yeah, you can do Frostcraft. Like, people told me to do Frostcraft Perfect Rush, but then the whole thing is you're spamming Perfect Rush, but you have to sit there with your weapon sheathed for a while so that you can get the max levels. Frostcraft Greatsword was really good, I heard, and I played some of it. But the thing is, Fatalis gear was still overwhelmingly taking the advantage, and I don't want to run into that. I want to run into situations like, oh, maybe one piece from this new monster is really good, which is why I was really a bit...
I played Frostcraft Slaplance, okay?
Oh, what the hell is wrong with you? Dude!
Do you have time?
Chaos Slayer must have lost his mind when he saw you do that.
We can write a book about what's wrong with me.
We don't have to. It's your entire channel.
But yeah, I did Frostcraft Gunlance. It's fun, like, but it's Slaplance. And again, Slaplance is Gunlance meta when it came to Iceborne. So it's like making
which is
Frostcraft
really weird.
Just makes sense. Yeah. But that was the way. But that's not all that got revealed. Now, one of the things that I was expecting didn't happen, which is I thought we were going to get some Outlanders updates, because I think Outlanders.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I thought Outlanders
I thought the exact
Tokyo
same thing.
Game Show. Yeah. But we didn't get that. But we did get Stories 3. What'd you think about that Stories 3?
Bro, I'm gonna be real. So,
I'm
gonna say this, and it's gonna be no. It's gonna sound real cocky, but I'm probably one of the best people on the entire internet to tell you about the story series. Not because I'm great at it, not because my knowledge of it is so extensive, but because I am the clown that said, I don't like turn-based games. I don't like stories. I will not play stories. I will not play Stories 2. I will never touch the series. And then my chat bullied me into trying it once, and ever since I've been addicted to stories. I have over like 300 hours on Stories 1, and I have like 600 on Stories 2, and I didn't even do all of the post-game in Stories 2. But like when I look at Stories 3,
were you playing it like Pokemon?
Excited.
Gotta catch them all? Is that what you're doing?
Oh yeah, I'm like I want all the monsters available, and I want to do as much of the post game as possible. But then some of the post game just got really grindy, so I dropped it. But looking at Monster Hunter Stories 3, for starters, I'm just super happy that it exists because I thought it would never happen. But
why did you think it wouldn't happen? Like I figured it would happen after Stories 2. Absolutely. People
I don't know about you,
2.
but so here's the thing. That's where the clown part comes into play. Because when Stories 2 was out and everyone was celebrating it, I was the grumpy old man with my arms crossed, just like I am now, going, no, not playing it. Not interested. I don't play Pokemon clones. And then I was just sat there like, whoa, I really am dumb. I am stupid.
Yeah, you are.
I passed on this I passed on this amazing thing at its peak. And, you know, there's so many reasons as to why I like the game. But the borderline is it's Pokemon, but like 100 times better. And no, it's not just because it's Monster Hunter. It's because the people that make the stories game really like the stories.
They care about the game, unlike the people
they care
that make
about
Pokemon.
the game, and they answer a question fundamentally that people have always thought about since they started playing Monster Hunter, which is, what if you weaponize the monsters? What happens then? What if you just, instead of hunting it, you raise it as a baby, like Chris Pratt in Jurassic World or whatever shitty movie we have now, and you just turn that into something to serve you? Like, a strong monster is horrifying, but a strong monster under control of a bad person is worse.
I was so happy with my Basil Goose. I was just like constantly like, yep, here comes Basil. Boom! Just like slamming down with Basil. He's like spreading all the pine cones like yeah, let's go. That was so satisfying.
The incredible attack. What is it that they call the kinship attacks? The animations behind those, I never skip them. They're so good.
Yep.
But I look at Stories 3, and I think that they're addressing every single problem that I've had with stories in the past. Obviously, there's still a couple of lingering things to be confirmed. Like, I want all of the monsters to be monsties. None of this Duramboros blue balling shit team. Come on, let's not do this again. That royally pissed me off, because I spent hours trying to get a Duramboros until I just looked it up, and I was like, he's not a monster. Can't get him for no reason. And then I don't know if I want to... I'm going to say this in a broad sense because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's trying to get into stories. I don't know if I should say this. Something about the final boss. Not who they are, but the inhibitors with those final bosses. Am I okay to say it?
I forget what that even is, to be honest. Inhibitors?
You can only fight them once. And they have no gear, which is not cool, and I hope Stories 3 changes it. But overall, I'm very happy about Stories 3.
But we'd like to see that final boss in the main series.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. I was talking to 269 in Paradise Central not long ago. Well, actually, no, a long time ago, when we were talking about Wilds being released. You were in that video too. And I was asking them about what monster they wanted to see, and they were like, the final boss from Stories 2. Yeah, as a siege quest. And I'm like, dude, that'd be brilliant. I would absolutely love it.
I will also say this whole thing about the bow main getting a bunch of protagonism in the final boss, that also needs to go, okay?
That needs to go. Yeah, that 100% needs to go. And if it gets replaced by Longsword in Stories 3, I'm going to lose my fucking lid.
Oh my god, dude. No, you better be Gunlance,
I'm not going to be happy about it. We cannot be doing that.
Like a proper weapon, you know, even greatsword, okay? We'll even cut Josh some slack. Can even be a greatsword user, right?
Yeah, Josh can get premium treatment once again. That's fine. I just don't want the weeps to get another win out of this. I love you guys, by the way. It's just jokes. It's just
memes,
jokes. I don't want anyone in the comments to come hunt me down.
Well, like, one of the things that I thought was really cool is how they said that they're focusing a lot more on the riding. So the riding is not just a means of transportation. I'm not sure if you noticed. This was something that I was theorizing on another trailer that we saw, because you see updrafts And we were thinking about like, okay, but if you can fly, what's the point of updrafts? It looks like you're not going, at least not at the beginning of the game, you're not flying. You're gliding.
You're gliding.
And you need updrafts to kind of like pick up air so that you can kind of like keep floating. And I thought that was really cool. I think that whenever you have traversal as a mechanic, that instantly makes things better. Like you think of something like a Spider-Man game. Like Spider-Man is really cool because even though it has fast travel, I never use fast travel in the Spider-Man games. Because like it's just cool to web sling. You're just like web slinging, yeeting yourself, and it's an active system where you're like going through stuff, and it's more fun than just like, you know, fast travel or automation or whatever. So I'm hoping that that is something that we get with this additional focus on writing.
There's a quote from a YouTuber. It's called Punk Duck, who's also Portuguese, by the way, but he makes his content in English.
There's so many
He's
of us.
Great.
There's more of us than you can ever imagine.
Three of us this so far. That's like three too many. But
and then there's Dark Hero, who's another one that's also.
Oh yeah, Dark Hero.
How many people don't know Dark Hero's Portuguese? But he has a thicker accent, though. You can't hide that accent.
He does. He didn't watch he didn't watch enough Star Wars when he was a kid.
He needs to watch more Star Wars to fix that accent.
But Punk Duck is also a massive Monster Hunter fan, and he was talking about Rise. And one of the quotes that he said directly relates to what you just said, which is fun movement and traversal is crucial to a game's longevity. Because if the video game is fun to move around in, people will just have fun traversing through the map. And that's very important. The updrafts kind of made me think that there will be a difference between monsters like Tobi Kadachi that cannot fly but can glide, and something like a Rathalos that can fly.
They used it in the Rathalos.
Yeah, but then is it because that was an early game mechanic and you couldn't exactly fly, or what was the deal there? I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was just drafts for you to traverse. That's fine, but is there a difference or no? Is something that we need to wait to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. And also, I'm sorry, guys. I know you might have heard my dog bark a couple of times. She's a little bit too excited today, so my apologies for that, because I'm probably going to miss that in the editing. It is what it is. But yeah, did you see them shoot the Gypsaros out of the air? As a mechanic?
Did. Wait, was it a Gypsaros or was it a blue Yankutku?
No, it's a blue Yankutku. I'm sorry, I'm stupid.
I saw the monsters flying in the not this trailer that we got, the one before it, because you can see them in the corner, very small, and I was like, those are flying monsters, just like you can see monsters in the water.
Yeah.
So I was like, new arenas. But no, you can shoot them down and you get an advantage when you start the fight, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty
because this
cool.
blue Yankutku is just minding his own business.
He's just like
and
chilling.
in comes this yeah.
It's like, why is this Rathalos bullying me, man? I'm just sitting here chilling. Like, what the hell? And just like blast.
Bro's, like coming home to his wife and kids after a long day at work, and here comes this raffle. Imagine if you can just do a crash into the monster with like a Basel, you just collapse into this dude into the ground.
But there's that, and then they also added a new mechanic which they're calling Synchro Rush. It just reminds me of the Persona All Out mechanic, where like you do the thing where the monster gets stunned or whatever, and it's like all out, and everybody just goes and jumps in. It's like
exactly. Reminds me.
Everybody just
as well.
mobs them down. But yeah, I'm super excited for Stories 3 as well. It's gonna be a fun time.
I'm super excited, especially that they're going with a theme of like knights and medieval castle. Like, come on, you guys didn't have to make the entirety of Stories 3 just for me. It's fine.
It almost reminds me of Fire Emblem to an extent.
It does. People say that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like Fire Hunter, and I'm just sat there like, you know what? They're right.
It kind of reminds you of Fire Emblem for sure. Now, one of the things that I am concerned with is whether or not we're going to have Gunlance, because we don't usually get we don't usually get all of the weapons in the game in these games.
But they haven't removed any weapons.
Dude, if they remove Gunlance, me and Jono are going to be having some words.
I've been having this conversation because I'm a bit like, here's the problem that I have with my logic. I create problems within my own head. That's just how I work.
Yeah, of course.
You have 2 weapons per class. Greatsword and Sword and Shield for slash. Hammer and
Hunting
Horn for blunt. And then you had Pierce, which was Gunlance and Bow. Now that we have Longsword, I was thinking maybe each weapon, because like in Stories 1, you only had Greatsword, Sword and Shield, Hammer, and hunting horn. So they then added 2 weapons into stories 2. And now I'm thinking they were going to add 3 weapons onto stories 3. So you'd have another slash weapon, another pierce weapon, and another blunt weapon.
So
the problem is,
lands, there is no more blunt weapons.
That's exactly the problem. I'm like,
Charge blade.
what do we do now? Charge blade as a blunt weapon? I mean, I guess you could just make it so that you have impact files. Yeah, sure.
The blunt
that
weapon
would make
now.
sense. But then in that case, you could, because like pierce weapons just add any of the bow guns. Problem solved.
Yeah, you could have like a heavy bow gun or a light bow gun, and that's done. Yeah, you don't even need the lance.
And then, you know, obviously longsword for slash, so that everybody out there can just animate their way through the game. And then you have that, but then the blunt weapons is where I was a bit curious. But people did say like, oh, maybe you just use impact charge blade, and then you can just rock that.
Yeah, impact charge blade makes the most sense if you want to have like a blunt weapon. But to be honest, I don't know, because a lot of charge blade is about slashing, obviously. Savage slash.
Yeah, exactly.
Slashing attacks. So
Savage axe, whatnot.
So I don't know if it's just like, oh, it's the impact special charge blade. And just, I don't know. We'll see. Well, maybe they add tonfas.
Oh, dude, I love that.
Just out of nowhere, tonfas in stories 3. You get tonfas in story 3s before you get it in.
The Excel axe is in here too. We forgot to bring it up, and the magnet spike is back. Do you guys remember the magnet spike?
They need to do the magnetic hammer before they do the magnet spike.
Nah, no, Marvel stole that idea. That's not happening.
They did. They ripped me off. Marvel
did. They put a patent on that shit. No one else can do it.
Absolutely. But anyways, that's all the topics I really had. My kids are getting like completely restless out there. I need to go wrangle them down. My wife's already losing her mind. I can hear them. You guys might have even heard them scream throughout the podcast, which again, my apologies. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's edition of the Conscast. There's going to be links to Ark stuff in the comment section down below, so go check them out. What's the next video you're working on?
I definitely am working on something about Gogmazios, but there's definitely going to be a waifu video for Wilds because people keep begging me for it. And so there's definitely going to be a thing. And how could I not when Gemma exists? You know?
Choose Alma. Remember, choose Alma, guys. This is how it goes.
I'm going to leave a pinned comment. Like, I'm going to leave a comment in this video.
You can't pin comments in my channel, Ark. That's not
You can pin my comment. You can pin my comment.
You just threatened me with a pinned comment in my own channel. That's not how this works.
If you don't pin my comment, I'm gonna copyright strike this podcast.
Copyright strike my podcast.
I don't even know if I can do that. They probably just look at who it's from and they're like, "Oh, fuck that guy, fuck that clown,
fuck that
don't
guy.
take him
that
seriously."
Guy sucks. Anyway,
well, thank you very much for having me on.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for coming in, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong. Stay safe. Peace out.